I want you to scrub ahead to any random point in this video and tell me whatever the stock is that I'm saying, what company it is, do you own it, or would you ever own this dividend paying company? And with that, all 2,840 dividend paying tickers on the New York Stock Exchange, why not? Let's go. A, Agilent Technologies, AA, Alcoa Corporation, AAN, The Aaron's Company, AAP, Advanced Auto Parts, AAT, American Assets Trust Incorporated, AB, Alliance Bernstein Holding, ABB, ABB Limited, ABBV, AbbVie Incorporated, ABC, Amerisource Bergen, ABEQ, Absolute Select Value ETF, ABEV, Ambev, ABM, ABM Industries Incorporated, ABR, Arbor Realty Trust, ABT, Abbott Laboratories, AC, Associated Capital Group, ACA, Arcosa, ACCO, ACCO Brands, ACES, ALPS Clean Energy ETF, ACI, Albertsons Company, ACM, AECOM. This is going to take forever if that don't speed up. ACN, Accenture, ACP, Aberdeen Income Credit Strategies Fund, ACRE, Ares Commercial Real Estate Corporation, ACV, Virtus Diversified Income and Convertible Fund, ADC, Agree Realty Corporation, ADM, Archer Daniels Midland, ADPV, Adaptive Select ETF, ADT, ADX, Adams Diversified Equity Fund, AEE, Amarin Corporation, AEG, AGNNV, AEL, American Equity Investment Life Holding Company, AEM, Agnico Eagle Mines Limited, AEO, American Eagle Outfitters, AES, the AES Corporation, AESC, the AES Corporation, AFB, Alliance Bernstein National Municipal Income Fund, AFG, American Financial Group, AFK, Van Eck Africa Index ETF, AFL, AFLAC. My goodness, this is awesome. AFLG, First Trust Active Factor Large Cap ETF. AFT, Apollo Senior Floating Rate Fund. AFTY, Pacer CSOP FTSE China A50 ETF. AGCO Corporation. AGD, Aberdeen Global Dynamic Dividend Fund. AGG, iShares Core US Aggregate Bond ETF. AGGY, Wisdom Tree Yield Enhanced U.S. Aggregate Bond Fund. AGI, Alamos Gold. AGM, Federal Agricultural Mortgage Corporation. AGO, Assured Guarantee Limited. AGOX, Adaptive Alpha Opportunities ETF. AGR, Avangrid. AGRO, Adcoergo SA. AGX, Argon. AGZ, iShares Agency Bond ETF. AHH, Armada Hoffler Properties, AIEQ, AI Powered Equity ETF, AIF, Apollo Tactical Income Fund, AIG, American International Group, AIN, Albany International Corp. AIO, Virtus Artificial Intelligence and Technology Opportunities Fund, AIRC, Apartment Income REIT Corp. AIT, Applied Industrial Technologies, Inc., AIZ, Assurant, AJG, Arthur J. Gallagher, AJX, Great Ajax Corporation, AKO-A, Embo Teledora Andina SA, AKO-B, Embo Teledora Andina SA, AKR, Acadia Realty Trust, AL, Air Lease Corporation, ALB, Albemarle Corporation, ALE, Alete Inc., ALEX, Alexander and Baldwin, ALG, Alamo Group, ALL, Allstate Corporation, ALLE, Allegion PLC, ALLY, Ally Financial, ALSN, Allison Transmission Holdings Inc., ALTG, Alta Equipment Corp., Alta Equipment Group, ALTL, Pacer Large Cap Alternator ETF. Gotta love it, taking so forever. ALV, Autoliv Inc., ALX, Alexanders Inc., AM, Antero Midstream Corporation, AMBP, Ardagh Metal Packaging, AMCR Amcor, AME Amatec, AMG Affiliated Managers Group, AMH American Homes for Rent, AMJ JP Morgan Illyrian MLP Index ETN, AMLP Illyrian MLP ETF, AMP Ameriprise Financial, AMR Alpha Metallurgical Resources, AMT American Tower Corporation, AMUB UBS eTrax Illyrian MLP Index ETN Series B, AMX America Movil SAB, AMZA Infracap MLP ETF, AOA iShares Core Aggressive Allocation ETF, AOD Aberdeen Total Dynamic Dividend Fund, AOK iShares Core Conservative Allocation ETF, AOM iShares Core Moderate Allocation ETF. So far, so good, but I do not understand why my rapid fire computer is taking forever to. AOMR Angel Oak Mortgage REIT Incorporated, AON AOR iShares Core Growth Allocation ETF, AOS AO Smith Corp, APAM Artesian Partners Asset Management, APD Air Products and Chemicals, APH Amphenol, APLE Apple Hospitality, APO Apollo Global Management, AQN Algonquin Powers and Utility Corp, AQNU Algonquin Powers and Utility Corp, ARC Arc Document Solutions, ARCH Arch Resources, ARCO Arcos Dorados Holdings, ARDC Ares Dynamic Credit Allocation Fund, ARE Alexandria Real Estate Equities Incorporated, ARES Ares Management, ARGO Argo Group International Holdings, ARGT Global X MSCI Argentina ETF, ARI Apollo Commercial Real Estate Finance Incorporated. I'm going to get the hang of this one. I'm on the last two. I'll hit next. ARIS, Aris Water Solutions, ARMK, Aramark, ARMR, Armor US Equity ETF, AROC, Archrock, ARR, Armor Residential REIT, ASAI, Sendas Distribuidora, ASB, Associated Bank Corp, ASC, Ardmore Shipping Corporation, ASEA, Global X FTSE Southeast Asia ETF, ASG, Liberty All-Star Growth Fund, ASGI, Aberdeen Global Infrastructure Income Fund, ASH, Ashland, ASHR, X-Trackers Harvest CSI 300 China A-Shares ETF, ASHS, X-Trackers Harvest CSI 500 China A-Shares Small Cap ETF, ASIX Advanced 6 Inc., ASPY, ASYM Shares Asymmetric S&P 500 ETF, ASR, Grupo Aeropuertario del Sueste, ASX, ASE Technology Holding, ATEN, A10 Networks, and ATHM Auto Home Inc. Well, if you're still watching, maybe you're a lunatic, but thank you for joining me. ATO, Atmos Energy Corp, ATR, Aptar Group, AU, Anglo Gold, Ashanti Limited, AUB, Atlantic Union Bankshares Corporation, AUSF, Global X Adaptive US Factor ETF, AVA, Avista Corporation, AVAL, Grupo Aval, Acciones y Valores SA, AVB, Avalon Bay Communities, AVD, American Vanguard Corporation, AVDE, Avantis International Equity ETF, AVDV, Avantis International Small Cap Value ETF, AVEM, Avantis Emerging Markets Equity ETF, AVES, Avantis Emerging Markets Value ETF, AVGE, Avantis All Equity Markets ETF, AVIV, Avantis International Large Cap Value ETF, AVK, Advent Convertible and Income Fund, AVLV, Advantis US Large Cap Value ETF, AVNT, Avient Corporation, AVRE, Avantis Real Estate ETF, and AVSC, Avantis US Small Cap ETF. Quicker, let's go. Is that right? Did I hit that twice? I think I goofed up. Hold on, everybody. Nope, my mistake. I was right. Hey, you never know what's going to happen here. AVUS, Avantis US Equity ETF, AVUV, Avantis U.S. Small Cap Value ETF. AVY, Avery Dennison Corporation. AWF, Alliance Bernstein Global High Income Fund. AWI, Armstrong World Industries Inc. AWK, American Waterworks Company. AWP, Aberdeen Global Premier Properties Fund. AWR, American States Water Company. AXP, American Express Company. AXS, Axis Capital Holdings Limited. AYI, Acuity Brands. AZZ, Inc. B, Barnes Group. BAB, Invesco Taxable Municipal Bond Fund. BAC, Bank of America Corporation. BAH, Booz Allen Hamilton Holding Corporation. BAK, Braxham. BALL Ball Corporation. BAM, Brookfield Asset Management Limited. And BANC, Bank of California. BAP, Credit Corp Limited. BATT, Amplify Lithium and Battery Technology ETF. BAX, Baxter International. BBAG, JP Morgan Beta Builders U.S. Aggregate Bond ETF. BBAR, Banco BBVA Argentina SA. BBD, Banco Bradesco. BBDC, Barings BDC. BBLU, EA Bridgeway Blue Chip ETF. BBMC, JP Morgan Beta Builders U.S. Midcap Equity ETF. BBN, BlackRock Taxable Municipal Bond Trust. BBUC, Brookfield Business Corporation. BBVA, Banco Balabo Vizcaya Argentinera. BBWI, Bath and Body Works. BBY, Best Buy. BC Brunswick. BCAT, BlackRock Capital Allocation Trust. BCC, Boise Cascade Company. BCD, Aberdeen Bloomberg All Commodity Longer Dated Strategy K1 Free ETF. BCE Inc. and BCH, Banco de Chile. Continuing on with our Bs. BCI, Aberdeen Bloomberg All Commodity Strategy K1 Free ETF. BCO, The Brinks Company. BCS, Barclays. BCSF, Bain Capital Specialty Finance. BCV, Bancroft Fund. BCX, BlackRock Resources and Commodity Strategy Trust. BDC, Belden Inc. BDCZ, UBS, eTrax, Wells Fargo Business Development Company, Index ETN. BDJ, BlackRock Enhanced Equity Dividend Trust. BDN, Brandywine Realty Trust. BDX, Becton Dixon and Company. BEDU, Bright Scholar Education Holdings Limited. BEDZ, Advisor Shares Hotel ETF. BEN, Franklin Resources. BEPC, Brookfield Renewable Corporation. BERY, Berry Global. BETZ, Round Hill Sports Betting and iGaming ETF. BFA-A, Brown Forman Corporation. BFA-B, Brown Forman Corporation. BFH, Bread Financial Holdings Incorporated. BFK, BlackRock Municipal Income Trust. BFOR, Barron's 400 ETF. BFS, Sol Centers. BFZ, BlackRock California Municipal Income Trust. BG, Bungie Limited. BGB, Blackstone Strategic Credit 2027 Term Fund. BGH, Barings Global Short Duration High Yield Fund. BGR, BlackRock Energy and Resources Trust. BGS, BNG Foods. BGSF, BGSF Inc. BGT, BlackRock Floating Rate Income Trust. BGX, Blackstone GSO Long Short Credit Income Fund. BGY, BlackRock Enhanced International Dividend Trust. BHE, Benchmark Electronics. BHK, BlackRock Core Bond Trust. BHLB, Berkshire Hills Bank Corp Inc. BHP, BHP Group Limited. BHR, Braemar Hotels and Resorts. BHV, BlackRock Virginia Municipal Bond Trust. And BIBL, Inspire 100 ETF. BIDS, Amplify Digital and Online Trading ETF. BIG Big Lots. BIGZ, BlackRock Innovation and Growth Trust. BIL, SPDR, Bloomberg 1 to 3 month T-bill ETF. BILS, SPDR, Bloomberg 3 to 12 month T-bill ETF. BIP, Brookfield Infrastructure Partners LP. BIPC, Brookfield Infrastructure Corporation. BIT, BlackRock Multi-Sector Income Trust. BITI, ProShares Short Bitcoin Strategy ETF. BITO, ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF. BITQ, Bitwise Crypto Industry Innovators ETF. BIV, Vanguard Intermediate Term Bond Index Fund. BIZD, Van Eck BDC Income ETF, BK, the Bank of New York Mellon Corp, BKE, the Buckle Inc., BKF, iShares MSCI BIC ETF, BKH, Black Hills Corporation, BKLC, Bank of New York Mellon, U.S. Large Cap Core Equity ETF, BKLN, Invesco Senior Loan ETF, and BKN, BlackRock Investment Quality Municipal Trust Incorporated. Yay. Next we have BKSE, Bank of New York Mellon, U.S. Small Cap Core Equity ETF, BKT, BlackRock Income Trust Incorporated, BKU, Bank United Inc., BLE, BlackRock Municipal Income Trust 2, BLES, Inspire Global Hope ETF, BLK, BlackRock Inc., BLV, Vanguard Long-Term Bond Fund, BLW, BlackRock Limited Duration Income Trust, BLX, Banco Latinoamericano de Comercio Exterior, BMA, Banco Marco, BME, BlackRock Health Sciences Trust, BMEZ, BlackRock Health Sciences Trust 2, BMI, Badger Meter, BMO, Bank of Montreal, BMY, Bristol Myers Squibb, BN, Brookfield Corporation, BNDC, FlexShares Core Select Bond Fund, BNDD, Quadratic Deflation ETF, BNL, Broadstone Net Lease, and BNRE, Brookfield Reinsurance Limited. Pardon moi. BNS, the Bank of Nova Scotia, BNY, BlackRock New York Municipal Income Trust, BOAT, Sonic Shares Global Shipping ETF, BOE, BlackRock Enhanced Global Dividend Trust, BOH, Bank of Hawaii, BOND, PIMCO Active Bond Exchange Traded Fund, BOUT, Innovator IBD Breakout Opportunities ETF, BP, BPT, BP Prudhoe Bay Royalty Trust, BR Broadridge Financial Solutions, BRC Brady Corporation, BRDG Bridge Investment Group Holdings, BRF Van Eck Brazil Small Cap ETF, BRMK Broadmark Realty Capital Inc., BRO Brown & Brown, BRSP Brightspire Capital Inc., BRT Apartments Corp., BRW, Saba Capital Income and Opportunities Fund, BRX, Brixmore Property Group Incorporated, BRZU, Direxion Daily, MSCI Brazil, Bull, 2 times shares. BSAC, Banco Santander, Chile, BSBR, Banco Santander, Brazil, BSIG, Brightsphere Inc. Brightsphere Investment Group Incorporated, BSL, Blackstone Senior Floating Rate 2027 Term Fund, BSM, Blackstone Minerals, BSMX, Banco Santander, Mexico, BST, BlackRock Science and Technology Trust, BSTZ, BlackRock Science and Technology Trust 2, BSV, Vanguard Short-Term Bond Index Fund, BTA, BlackRock Long-Term Municipal Average Trust, BTAL, AGF, U.S. Market Neutral Anti-Beta Fund, BTI, British American Tobacco, BTO, John Hancock Financial Opportunities Fund, BTT, BlackRock Municipal 2030 Target Term Trust, BTU, Peabody Energy Corporation, BTZ, BlackRock Credit Allocation Income Trust, BUCK, Simplify Stable Income ETF, BUD, Anheuser-Busch InBev, BUI, BlackRock Utilities Infrastructure and Power Opportunities Trust, BUZZ, Van Eck Social Sentiment ETF, BVH, Blue Green Vacations Holding Corporation, BVN, Compañía de Minas Buenaventura, BWA Borg Warner, BWG, Lake Mason, BW Global Income Opportunities Fund Incorporated, BWX, SPDR Bloomberg International Treasury Bond ETF, BWXT, BWX Technologies, BWZ, SPDR Bloomberg Short-Term International Treasury Bond ETF, BX Blackstone, BXMT Blackstone Mortgage Trust, BXMX, Nuveen S&P 500 Buy Right Income Fund, BXP, Boston Properties, BXSL, Blackstone Secured Lending Fund, BY, Byline Bancorp, BYD Boyd Gaming, BYLD, iShares Yield Optimized Bond ETF, BYM, BlackRock Municipal Income Quality Trust, BZQ, ProShares Ultra Short MSCI Capped, C, Citigroup, CABO, Cable One Inc., CADE, Cadence Bank. Come on, computer, let's go. CAF, Morgan Stanley China A-Share Fund. CAG, Conagra Brand. CAH, Cardinal Health. CAL, Caleris Inc. CAPE, Double Line Schiller Cape U.S. Equities ETF. CAPL, Cross America Partners. CARR, Carrier Global Corporation. CAT, Caterpillar. CATO, the Cato Corporation. CB, Chubb Limited. CBD, Companhia Brasileira de Distribuição Cal. CBH, Virtus Convertible and Income 2024 Target Term Fund. CBL and Associates Properties. CBON, Van Eck China Bond ETF. CBT, Cabot Corporation. CBU, Community Bank System. CC, the ChemWars Company. CCI, Crown Castle. CCJ, Chemical Corporation. CCK, Crown Holdings Incorporated. And continuing on with our show, CCOR, Core Alternative ETF, CCS, Century Communities Inc., CCU, Compañía Cervecerías Unidas, CDRE, Cadre Holdings, CDX, Simplify High Yield Plus Credit Hedge, CE Celanese, CEE, the Central and Eastern Europe Fund, CEFD, eTrax Monthly Pay 1.5x Leveraged Closed-End Fund Index ETN, CEIX, Consol Energy Inc., CEM, Clearbridge, MLP and Midstream Fund Incorporated, CEN, Center Coast Brookfield MLP and Energy Infrastructure Fund, CEPU, Central Puerto SA, CEQP, Crestwood Equity Partners LP, Central CET, Central Securities Corp., CEV, Eaton Vance, California Municipal Income Trust, CEW, Wisdom Tree Emerging Currency Strategy Fund, CF Industries Holdings Inc., CFG, Citizens Financial Group, CFR, Collins Frost Bankers, CGCP, Capital Group Core Plus Income ETF, CGDV, Capital Group Dividend Value ETF, CGGO, Capital Group Global Growth Equity ETF, CGGR, Capital Group Growth ETF, CGUS, Capital Group Core Equity ETF, CGW, Invesco, S&P Global Water Index ETF, CGXU, Capital Group International Focus Equity ETF, CHAU, Direxion Daily, CSI 300 China A-Share Bull 2 times shares, CHCT, Community Health Trust Incorporated, CHD, Church and Dwight, CHE, Chemed Corporation, CHGX, AXS Change Finance ESG ETF, CHH, Choice Hotels International, CHIC, Global X, MSCI China Communication Services ETF, CHIE, Global X, MSCI China Energy ETF, CHIH, Global X, MSCI China Healthcare ETF, CHIK, Global X, MSCI China Information Technology ETF, CHIQ, Global X, MSCI China Consumer Discretionary ETF, CHIR, Global X, MSCI China Real Estate ETF, CHIS, Global X, MSCI China Consumer Staples ETF, CHIX, Global X, MSCI China Financials ETF. Ready? Good. CHMI, Cherry Hill Mortgage Investment Corporation, CHN, the China Fund, CHT, Changhua Telecom Company, CI, the Cigna Group, CIB, Banco Colombia SA, CIF, MS Intermediate High Income Fund, CIG, Compañía Energética de Minas Gerais, CII, BlackRock Enhanced Capital and Income Fund, CIK, Credit Suisse Asset Management Income Fund, CIM, Chimera Investment Corporation, CIO, City Office REIT, CION Investment Corporation, CIVI, Civitas Resources, CL, Colgate-Palmolive, CLB, Core Laboratories, CLDT, Chatham Lodging Trust, CLM, Cornerstone Strategic Value Fund, CLPR, Clipper Realty, CLTL, Invesco Treasury Collateral ETF, and CLX, the Clorox Company. CM, Canadian Imperial Bank of Commerce. CMA, Comerica Incorporated. CMBS, iShares CMBS ETF. CMC, Commercial Metals Company. CMDY, iShares Bloomberg Roll Select Broad Commodity ETF. CMF, iShares California Muni Bond ETF. CMI Cummins, CMP, Compass Minerals International. CMRE, Costa Mer Inc. CMS, CMS Energy Corporation. CMTG, Claros Mortgage Trust. CMU, MFS High Yield Municipal Trust. CN, X-Trackers, MSCI All China Equity ETF. CNA, CNA Financial Corp. CNHI, CNH Industrial. CNI, Canadian National Railway. CNMD, ConMed. CNO Financial Group. CNP, Centerpoint Energy. And CNQ, Canadian Natural Resources Limited. CNRG, SPDR, Kensho Clean Power ETF, CNS Conan Steers, CODI, Compass Diversified, COF, Capital One Financial Corporation, COLD, Americold Realty Trust, COM, Direxion Auspice Broad Commodity Strategy ETF, COMB, Granite Shares Bloomberg Commodity Broad Strategy, number K1 ETF, COO, the Cooper Companies, COP, ConocoPhillips, COPX, Global X Coppers Miners ETF, CORP, PIMCO Investment Grade Corporate Bond Index ETF, CP, Canadian Pacific Kansas City Limited, CPA, Copa Holdings, CPAC, Cementos Paxamayo, CPB, Campbell's Soup, CPF, Central Pacific Financial, CPG, Crescent Point Energy, CPI, IQ Real Return ETF, CPK, Chesapeake Utilities Corporation, and CPT, Camden Property Trust. CQQ, Invesco China Technology ETF. CRAK, Van Eck Oil Refiners ETF, CRBG, Core Bridge Financial, CRBN, iShares MSCI ACWI Low Carbon Target ETF, CRC, California Resources Corporation, CRD, Crawford & Company, CRD-A, Crawford & Company, CRD B, Crawford & Company, CRF, Cornerstone Total Return Fund, CRGY, Crescent Energy, CRH PLC, CRI Carters, CRK, Comstock Resources, CRPT, First Trust Skybridge Crypto Industry and Digital Economy ETF, CRS, Carpenter Technology Corporation, CRT, Cross Timbers Royalty Trust, CRUZ, Defiance Hotel Airline and Cruise ETF, CS, Credit Suisse Group, CSAN, COSAN, CSD, Invesco, S&P Spinoff ETF, and CSL, Carlyle Companies Incorporated. CSR, Centerspace, CSV, Carriage Services Incorporated, CTA, Simplify Managed Future Strategy ETF, CTO Realty Growth, CTR, Clearbridge MLP and Midstream Total Return Fund, CTRA, Coterra Energy, CTRE, Care Trust, REIT, CTS Corp, CTVA, Cortiva, CUBE, CubeSmart, CULP, Culp, CURE, Direxion Daily Healthcare, both 3 times shares, CURO Group Holdings, CUT, Invesco, MSCI Global Timber ETF, CUZ, Cousins Properties Incorporated, CVE, Synovus Energy, CVI, CVR Energy, CVS Health Corp, CVX, Chevron Corporation, and CVY, Invesco Zacks Multi-Asset Income ETF. CW, Curtis Wright Corporation, CWB, SPDR Bloomberg Convertible Securities ETF, CWEB, Direxion Daily CSI China Internet Bull, 2 times shares, CWEN, Clearway Energy Inc., CWEN-A, Clearway Energy, CWH, Camping World, CWI, SPDR, MSCI, ACWI, XUS ETF, CWS, Advisor Shares Focused Equity ETF, CWT, California Water Service Group, CXE, MFS, High Income Municipal Trust, CXH, MFS Investment Grade Municipal Trust, CXT, Crane NXT, CYA, Simplify Tail Risk Strategy, ETF, CYB, Wisdom Tree Chinese Yuan Strategy Fund. CYD, China Yuchai International Limited. CZA, Invesco Zacks Midcap. D, Dominion, DAC, Danaos Corporation. DAN, Dana Incorporated. And DB, Deutsche Bank Aktiengesellschaft. DBA, Invesco DB Agriculture Fund. DBAW, X-Trackers MSCI All World X US Hedged Equity ETF. DBB, Invesco DB Base Metals Fund. DBC, Invesco DB Commodity Index Tracking Fund. DBE, Invesco DB Energy Fund. DBEF, X-Trackers MSCI EAFE Hedged Equity ETF. DBEM, X-Trackers MSCI Emerging Markets Hedged Equity ETF. DBEU, X-Trackers MSCI Europe Hedged Equity ETF. DBEZ, X-Trackers MSCI Eurozone Hedged Equity ETF. DBI, Designer Brands. DBJP, X-Trackers MSCI Japan Hedged Equity ETF. DBL, Double Line Opportunistic Credit Fund. DBMF, IMGP, DBI Managed Futures Strategy ETF. DBND, Double Line Opportunistic Bond Fund. DBO, Invesco DB Oil Fund. DBP, Invesco DB Precious Metals Fund. DBRG, Digital Bridge Group Incorporated. DCI, Donaldson Company Incorporated. DCP, DCP Midstream. DD, DuPont Demoirs Incorporated. And away we go. DDM, ProShares Ultra Dow 30. DDS, Dillard's Incorporated. DE, Deere & Company. DEA, Easterly Government Properties. DEEF, X-Trackers FTSE Developed ex-US Multi-Factor ETF. DEEP, Round Hill Acquirers Deep Value ETF. DEF, Invesco Defensive Equity ETF. DEI, Douglas Emmett. DELL, Dell Technologies. DEM, Wisdom Tree Emerging Markets High Dividend Fund. DEO, Diageo. DES, Wisdom Tree US Small Cap Dividend Fund. DEUS, X-Trackers Russell US Multi-Factor ETF. DEW, Wisdom Tree Global High Dividend Fund. DFAC, Dimensional U.S. Core Equity 2 ETF. DFAI, Dimensional International Core Equity Market ETF. DFAR, Dimensional U.S. Real Estate ETF. DFAS, Dimensional U.S. Small Cap ETF. DFAT, Dimensional U.S. Targeted Value ETF. And DFAU, Dimensional U.S. Core Equity Market ETF. DFAX, Dimensional World U.S. Core Equity 2 ETF. DFCF, Dimensional Core Fixed Income ETF. DFE, Wisdom Tree Europe Small Cap Dividend Fund. DFEM, Dimensional Emerging Markets Core Equity 2 ETF. DFEN, Direxion Daily Aerospace and Defense, both 3 times shares. DFEV, Dimensional Emerging Markets Value ETF. DFGR, Dimensional Global Real Estate ETF. DFIP, Dimensional Inflation Protected Securities ETF. DFIV, Dimensional International Value ETF. DFJ, Wisdom Tree Japan Small Cap Dividend Fund. DFLV, Dimensional U.S. Large Cap Value ETF. DFNM, Dimensional National Municipal Bond Fund. DFP, Flaherty and Crumurine Dynamic Preferred and Income Fund ETF. DFS, Discover Financial Services. DFSB, Dimensional Global Sustainability Fixed Income ETF. DFSD, Dimensional Short Duration Fixed Income ETF. DFSE, Dimensional Emerging Market Sustainability Core 1 ETF. DFSI, Dimensional International Sustainability Core 1 ETF. DFSU, Dimensional U.S. Sustainability Core 1 ETF. And DFSV, Dimensional U.S. Small Cap Value ETF. DFUS, Dimensional U.S. Equity ETF. DFUV, Dimensional U.S. Market-Wide Value ETF. DG, Dollar General. DGRO, iShares Core Dividend Growth ETF. DGS, Wisdom Tree Emerging Markets Small Cap Dividend Fund. DGT, Spider Global Dow ETF. DGX, Quest Diagnostics Incorporated. DHF, BNY Mellon High Yield Strategies Fund. DHI, DR Horton Incorporated. DHR, Danaher Corporation. DHS, Wisdom Tree U.S. High Dividend Fund. DHT, DHT Holdings. DHY, Credit Suisse High Yield Bond Fund. SPDIA, Spider Dow Jones Industrial Average ETF. DIAL, Columbia Diversified Fixed Income Allocation ETF. DIAX, Nuveen Dow 30 Dynamic Overwrite Fund. DIG, ProShares Ultra Oil and Gas. DIM, Wisdom Tree International Midcap Dividend Fund. DIN, Dine Brands Global Incorporated. And DINOHF, Sinclair Corporation. DIV, Global X Super Dividend US ETF. DIVO, Amplify CWP Enhanced Dividend Income ETF. DIVS, Smart ETFs Dividend Builder ETF. DIVZ, True Shares Low Volatility Equity Income ETF. DJD, Invesco Dow Jones Industrial Average Dividend ETF. DJIA, Global X30 Covered Call ETF. Global X Dow 30 Covered Call ETF. DK, Delec US Holdings. DKL, Delec Logistics Partners. DKS, Dick's Sporting Goods. DLB, Dolby Laboratories. DLN, Wisdom Tree US Large Cap Dividend Fund. DLR, Digital Realty Trust. DLS, Wisdom Tree International Small Cap Dividend Fund. DLX, Delex Corporation. DLY, Double Line Yield Opportunities Fund. DMB, BNY Mellon Municipal Bond Infrastructure Fund Incorporated. DMF, BNY Mellon Municipal Income Incorporated. DMO, Western Asset Mortgage Opportunity Fund Incorporated. DNB, Dun & Bradstreet Holdings Incorporated. And DNL, Wisdom Tree Global X U.S. Quality Dividend Growth Fund. DNP Select Income Fund. DOC, Physicians Realty Trust. DOG, ProShares Short Dow 30. DOL, Wisdom Tree International Large Cap Dividend Fund. DOLE, Dole PLC. DON, Wisdom Tree U.S. Midcap Dividend Fund. DOUG, Douglas Elliman. DOV, Dover. DOW, Dow Incorporated. DPG, Duff & Phelps Utility and Infrastructure Fund Incorporated. DPST, Dirección Daily Regional Banks, both 3 times shares. DPZ, Domino's Pizza. DRD Gold Limited. DRH, Diamond Rock Hospitality Company. DRI, Darden Restaurants. DRIP, Dirección Daily S&P Oil and Gas, EXP and Produce, PROD Bear 2 times shares. DRLL, Strive U.S. Energy ETF. DRN, Dirección Daily Real Estate Bull 3 times shares. DRV, Dirección Daily Real Estate Bear 3x shares. And DSI, iShares MSCI KLD 400 Social ETF. And next we have DSL, Double Line Income Solutions Fund. DSM, BNY Mellon Strategic Municipal Bond Fund. DSMC, Distillate Small/Mid Cash Flow ETF. DSTL, Distillate U.S. Fundamental Stability and Value ETF. DSU, BlackRock Debt Strategies Fund. DSX, Diana Shipping. DTD, Wisdom Tree U.S. Total Dividend Fund. DTE Energy. DTEC, ALPS Disruptive Technologies ETF. DTF, Tax-Free Income 2028 Term Fund Incorporated. DTH, Wisdom Tree International High Dividend Fund. DTM, DT Midstream. DUG, ProShares Ultra Short Oil and Gas. DUH, Dimensional U.S. High Profitability ETF. DUK, Duke Energy. DUSL, Dirección Daily Industrials Bull 3 times shares. DUST, Dirección Daily Gold Miners Index Bear 2 times shares. DVN, Devon Energy. DVYA, iShares Asia Pacific Dividend ETF. DVYE, iShares Emerging Markets Dividend ETF. That was Ryan Williams texting me. DWN, Wisdom Tree International Equity Fund. DWX, Spider S&P International Dividend ETF. DX, Dynex Capital. DXD, ProShares Ultra Short Dow 30. DXJ, Wisdom Tree Japan Hedged Equity Fund. DYNF, BlackRock U.S. Equity Factor Rotation ETF. ENISPA, EAD, Allspring Income Opportunities Fund. EAF, GrafTech International Limited. EAFD, Simplified Developed ex-US Plus Downside Convexity ETF. EAGG, iShares ESG US Aggregate Bond ETF. EARN, Ellington Residential Mortgage REIT. EASG, X-Trackers MSCI. EAFE, ESG Leaders Equity ETF. EATZ Advisor Shares Restaurant ETF, EBF Ennis Inc., EBND SPDR Bloomberg Emerging Markets Local Bond ETF, EBR Centrais Electros Brasileiros SE, SA, EBR-B Centrais Elétricas Brasileiras SA, EC Ecopetrol, and ECAT BlackRock ESG Capital Allocation Trust. ECC Eagle Point Credit Company, ECCC Eagle Point Credit Company, ECF Ellsworth Growth and Income Fund, ECL Ecolab, ECLN First Trust EIP Carbon Impact ETF, ECNS iShares MSCI China Small Cap ETF, ECON Columbia Emerging Markets Consumer ETF, ED Consolidated Edison, EDC Direxion Daily MSCI Emerging Markets both 3 times shares, EDD Morgan Stanley Emerging Markets Domestic Debt Fund Incorporated, EDF Virtus Stone Harbor Emerging Markets Income Fund, EDI Virtus Stone Harbor Emerging Markets Total Income Fund, EDIV Spider S&P Emerging Markets Dividend ETF, EDOG ALPS Emerging Sector Dividend Dogs ETF, EDOW First Trust Dow 30 Equal Weight ETF, EDV Vanguard Extended Duration Treasury Index Fund, EDZ Direxion Daily MSCI Emerging Market Bears 3 times shares, EE Accelerate Energy Incorporated, EEA, the European Equity Fund, and EELV, Invesco S&P Emerging Markets Low Volatility ETF. EEM, iShares MSCI Emerging Markets ETF, EEMD, AAM S&P Emerging Markets High Dividend Value ETF, EEMO, Invesco S&P Emerging Markets Momentum ETF, EEMS, iShares MSCI Emerging Markets Small Cap ETF, EEMX, Spider MSCI Emerging Markets Fossil Fuel Reserves Free ETF, EES, Wisdom Tree U.S. Small Cap Earnings Fund, EET, ProShares Ultra MSCI Emerging Markets, EEV, ProShares Ultra Short MSCI Emerging Markets, EFA, iShares MSCI, EAFE ETF, EFAX, Spider MSCI, EAFE Fossil Fuel Reserves Free ETF, EFC, Ellington Financial, EFO, ProShares Ultra MSCI, EAFE, EFR, Eaton Vance Senior Floating Rate Trust, EFT, Eaton Vance Floating Rate Income Trust, EFU, ProShares Ultra Short MSCI, EAFE, EFX, Equifax, EFZ, ProShares Short MSCI, EAFE, EGF, BlackRock Enhanced Government Fund, EGLE, Eagle Bulk Shipping Incorporated, and EGP, East Group Properties Incorporated. EGPT, VanEck Egypt Index ETF, EGY, Valco Energy, EHC, Encompass Health Corporation, EHI, Western Asset Global High Income Fund Incorporated, EIC, Eagle Point Income Company, EIDO, iShares MSCI Indonesia ETF, EIG Employers Holdings, EIM, Eaton Vance Municipal Bond Fund, EINC VanEck Energy Income ETF, EIPX FT Energy Income Partner Strategy ETF, EIRL iShares MSCI Ireland ETF, EIS iShares MSCI Israel ETF, EIX Edison International, EL the Estee Lauder Companies, ELD Wisdom Tree Emerging Markets Local Debt Fund, ELME Communities, ELP Compañía Paranaense de Energía, Koppel, ELS Equity Lifestyle Properties Incorporated, ELV Elevance Health, EMBD Global X Emerging Markets Bond ETF. EMCR, X-Trackers Emerging Markets Carbon Reduction and Climate Improvers ETF, EMD, Western Asset Emerging Markets Debt Fund, EME, MCOR Group, EMF, Templeton Emerging Markets Fund, EMFM, Global X Next Emerging and Frontier ETF, EMLC, VanEck, JP Morgan, EM Local Currency Bond ETF, EMLP, First Trust North American Energy Infrastructure Fund, EMN, Eastman Chemical Company, EMNT, PIMCO Enhanced Short Maturity Active ESG ETF. EMO is the Clear Bridge Energy Midstream Opportunity Fund, EMR, Emerson Electric, EMSG, X-Trackers, MSCI, Emerging Markets, ESG Leaders Equity, EMTY, ProShares, the client of the Retail Store ETF, ENB, Enbridge Incorporated, ENFR, Illyrian Energy Infrastructure, ENIC, Enel Chile, SA, ENLC, Enlink Midstream, ENR, Energizer Holdings, ENS, Enersys, and ENTR, ER Shares Entrepreneur ETF. Okay. ENX, Eaton Vance New York Municipal Bond Fund. EOD, Allspring Global Dividend Opportunity Fund. EOG Resources. EOI, Eaton Vance Enhanced Equity Income Fund. EOS, Eaton Vance Enhanced Equity Income Fund 2. EOT, Eaton Vance National Municipal Opportunities Trust. EPAC, Enerpac Tool Group. EPC, Edgewell Personal Care Company. EPD, Enterprise Products Partners. EPHE, iShares MSCI Philippines ETF. EPI, Wisdom Tree India Earnings Fund. EPOL, iShares MSCI Poland ETF. EPP, iShares MSCI Pacific X Japan ETF. EPR Properties. EPRT, Essential Properties Realty Trust. EPS, Wisdom Tree US Earnings 500 Fund. EPU, iShares MSCI Peru ETF. EPV, ProShares Ultra Short FTSE Europe. EQAL, Invesco Russell 1000 Equity Equal Weight ETF, and EQH, Equitable Holdings Incorporated. EQL, ALPS Equal Sector Weight ETF. EQNR, Equinor ASA, EQR, Equity Residential, EQT Corporation, EQTY, Kovitz Core Equity ETF, EQWL, Invesco S&P 100 Equal Weight ETF, ERC, Allspring Multi-Sector Income Fund, ERF, Enerplus Corporation, ERH, Allspring Utilities and High Income Fund, ERM, Equity Compass Risk Manager ETF, ERTH, Invesco MSCI Sustainable Future ETF, ERX, Direxion Daily Energy Bull 2 times shares, ERY, Direxion Daily Energy Bear 2 times shares, ES, Eversource Energy, ESAB Corporation, ESBA, Empire State Realty, OP, ESE, ESCO Technologies, ESI, Element Solutions, ESNT, Ascent Group Limited, and ESRT, Empire State Realty Trust Incorporated. ESX, ESS, SX Property Trust, ET, Energy Transfer, ETB, Eaton Vance Tax Managed by Right Income Fund, ETD, Ethan Allen Interiors, ETG, Eaton Vance Tax Advantage Global Dividend Income Fund, ETHO, ETHO Climate Leadership US ETF, ETJ, Eaton Vance Risk Managed Diversified Equity Income Fund, ETN, Eaton Corporation, ETO, Eaton Vance Tax Advantage Global Dividend Opportunities Fund, ETRN, Entergy Corporation, ETRN, Equitrans Midstream Corporation, ETV, Eaton Vance Tax Managed by Right Opportunities Fund, ETW, Eaton Vance Tax Managed Global by Right Opportunities Fund, ETX, Eaton Vance Municipal Income 2028 Term Trust, ETY, Eaton Vance Tax Managed Diversified Equity Income Fund, EUDG, Wisdom Tree Europe Quality Dividend Growth Fund, EUM ProShares Short MSCI Emerging Markets, EURL Direxion Daily FTSE Europe Bull 3 times shares, EUSA iShares MSCI USA Equal Weighted ETF, and EUSC Wisdom Tree Europe Hedged Small Cap Equity Fund. EVA and Viva Incorporated, EVAV, Direxion Daily Electric and Autonomous Vehicles Bull 2 times shares, EVC, Entravision Communications Corporation, Eaton EVF, Eaton Vance Senior Income Trust, EVG, Eaton Vance Short Duration Diversified Income Fund, EVM, Eaton Vance California Municipal Bond Fund, EVN, Eaton Vance Municipal Income Trust, EVR, Evercore Inc., EVT, Eaton Vance Tax Advantage Dividend Income Fund, EVTC, Evertech Inc., EVV, Eden Vance Limited Duration Income Fund, EWA iShares MSCI Australia ETF, EWC iShares MSCI Canada ETF, EWCO Invesco S&P 500 Equal Weight Communication Services ETF, EWD iShares MSCI Sweden ETF, EWG iShares MSCI Germany ETF, EWH iShares MSCI Hong Kong ETF, EWH iShares MSCI Italy ETF, EWJ iShares MSCI Japan ETF, and EWK iShares MSCI Belgium ETF. EWL iShares MSCI Switzerland ETF, EWM iShares MSCI Malaysia ETF, EWMC Invesco S&P Midcap 400 Equal Weight ETF, EWN iShares MSCI Netherlands ETF, EWO iShares MSCI Austria ETF, EWP iShares MSCI Spain ETF, EWQ iShares MSCI France ETF, EWRE Invesco S&P 500 Equal Weight Real Estate ETF, EWS iShares MSCI Singapore ETF, EWT iShares MSCI Taiwan ETF, EWU iShares MSCI United Kingdom ETF, EWV ProShares Ultra Short MSCI Japan, EWW iShares MSCI Mexico ETF, EWX Spider S&P Emerging Markets Small Cap ETF, EWY iShares MSCI South Korea ETF, EWZ iShares MSCI Brazil ETF, EXG Eaton Vance Tax Managed Global Diversified Equity Income Fund, EXI iShares Global Industrials ETF, EXP Eagle Materials, and EXR Extra Space Storage Incorporated. EWL iShares MSCI Switzerland ETF, EWM iShares MSCI Malaysia ETF, EWMC Invesco S&P Midcap 400 Equal Weight ETF, EWN iShares MSCI Netherlands ETF, EW iShares MSCI Australia ETF, EWP iShares MSCI Spain ETF, EWQ iShares MSCI France ETF, EWRE Invesco S&P 500 Equal Weight Real Estate ETF, EWS iShares MSCI Singapore ETF, EWT iShares MSCI Taiwan ETF, EWU iShares MSCI United Kingdom ETF, EWV ProShares Ultra Short MSCI Japan, EWW iShares MSCI Mexico ETF, EWX Spider S&P Emerging Markets Small Cap ETF, EWY iShares MSCI South Korea ETF, EWZ iShares MSCI Brazil ETF, EXG Eaton Vance Tax Managed Global Diversified Equity Income Fund, EXI iShares Global Industrials ETF, EXP Eagle Materials Incorporated, and EXR Extra Space Storage Incorporated. EZA iShares MSCI South Africa ETF, EZJ ProShares Ultra MSCI Japan, EZM Wisdom Tree US Midcap Earnings Fund, F Ford Motor Company, FAF First American Financial Corporation, FAM First Trust Aberdeen Global Opportunity Income Fund, FAN First Trust Global Wind Energy ETF, FAS Direxion Daily Financial Bull 3 times shares, FAX Aberdeen Asia Pacific Income Fund Incorporated, FAZ Direxion Daily Financial Bear 3 times shares, FBIN Fortune Brands Innovations Incorporated, FBK FB Financial Corp, FBND Fidelity Total Bond ETF, FBP First Bank Corp, FBRT Franklin BSP Realty Trust Incorporated, FBT First Trust NYSE ARCA Arca Biotechnology Index Fund, FCF First Commonwealth Financial Corporation, FCG First Trust National Gas ETF, FCO Aberdeen Global Income Fund, FCOM Fidelity MSCI Communication Services Index ETF. FCOR Fidelity Corporate Bond ETF, FCPT Four Corners Property Trust, FCT First Trust Senior Floating Rate Income Fund 2, FCX Freeport McMoran, FDD First Trust Stocks European Select Dividend Index Fund, FDEU, First Trust Dynamic Europe Equity Income Fund. FDHY, Fidelity High Yield Factor. FDIS, Fidelity MSCI Consumer Discretionary Index ETF. FDL, First Trust Morningstar Dividend Leaders Index Fund. FDLO, Fidelity Low Volatility Factor ETF. FDM, First Trust Dow Jones Select Microcap Index Fund. FDMO, Fidelity Momentum Factor ETF. FDP, Fresh Del Monte Produce. FDRR, Fidelity Dividend ETF for rising rates. FDS, Fact Set Research Systems. FDVV, Fidelity High Dividend ETF. FDX, FedEx Corporation. FE, First Energy. FEI, First Trust MLP and Energy Income Fund. FEN, First Trust Energy Income and Growth Fund. FENY, Fidelity MSCI Energy Index ETF. FERG, Ferguson. FEZ, Spider Eurostox 50 ETF. FF, Future Fuel Corp. FFA, First Trust Enhanced Equity Income Fund. FFC, Flaherty and Crumrine Preferred Securities Income Fund. FFTY, Innovator IBD 50 ETF. FG, FNG Annuities and Life. FGB, First Trust Specialty Finance and Financial Opportunities Fund. FGD, First Trust Dow Jones Global Select Dividend Index Fund. FHI, Federated Hermes. FHLC, Fidelity MSCI Healthcare Index ETF. FHN, First Horizon Corporation. FIAX, Nicholas Fixed Income Alternative ETF. FIDI, Fidelity International High Dividend ETF. FIDU, Fidelity MSCI Industrials Index ETF. FIF, First Trust Energy Infrastructure Fund. FIG, Simplify Macro Strategy ETF. FILL, iShares MSCI Global Energy Producers ETF. FINV, Finvolution Group. FIS, Fidelity National Information Services Incorporated. FISR, Spider SSGA Fixed Income Sector Rotation ETF. FITE, Spider S&P Kensho Future Security ETF. FIVA, Fidelity International Value Factor ETF. FIVG, Defiance 5G Next Gen Connectivity ETF. FIW, First Trust Water ETF. FIX, Comfort Systems USA. FL Footlocker. FLAU, Franklin FTSE Australia ETF. FLAX, Franklin FTSE Asia X Japan ETF. FLBR, Franklin FTSE Brazil ETF. FLC, Flaherty and Crumrine Total Return Fund Inc. FLCA, Franklin FTSE Canada ETF. FLCB, Franklin US Core Bond ETF. FLCH, Franklin FTSE China ETF. FLCO, Franklin Investment Grade Corporate ETF. FLEE, Franklin FTSE Europe ETF. FLGB, Franklin FTSE United Kingdom ETF. FLGR, Franklin FTSE Germany ETF. And FLHK, Franklin FTSE Hong Kong ETF. FLIN, Franklin FTSE India ETF. FLIY, Franklin FTSE Italy ETF. FLJPay, Franklin FTSE Japan ETF. FLKR, Franklin FTSE South Korea ETF. FLVV, Franklin US Low Volatility ETF. FLMB, Franklin Municipal Green Bond ETF. FLMX, Franklin FTSE Mexico ETF. FLNG, Flex LNG. FLO, Flowers Foods. FLRN, Spider Bloomberg Investment Grade Floating Rate ETF. FLS, Flowserve Corp. FLSW, Franklin FTSE Switzerland ETF. FLTB, Fidelity Limited Term Bond ETF. FLTR, Van Eck IG Floating Rate ETF. FM, iShares MSCI Frontier and Select EM ETF. FMAT, Fidelity MSCI Materials Index ETF. FMC, FMC Corp. FMF, First Trust Managed Futures Strategy Fund. FMN, Federated Hermes Premier Municipal Income Fund. FMS, Fresenius Medical Care AG and Company KG&A. FMX, Fomento Económico Mexicano. FMY, First Trust Mortgage Income Fund. FNB, FNB Corporation. FNCL, Fidelity MSCI Financials Index. FNDA, Schwab Fundamental U.S. Small Company Index ETF. FNDB, Schwab Fundamental U.S. Broad Market ETF. FNDB, Schwab Fundamental U.S. Broad Market ETF. FNDC, Schwab Fundamental International Small Company Index ETF. FNDE, Schwab Fundamental Emerging Markets Large Company Index ETF. FNDF, Schwab Fundamental International Large Company Index ETF. FNDX, Schwab Fundamental U.S. Large Company Index ETF. FNF, Fidelity National Financial. FNGG, Direxion Daily Select Large Caps and FANGs Bull 2x shares. FNV, Franco-Nevada Corporation. FOF, Cohen and Steers Closed End Opportunity Fund. FOVL, iShares Focused Value Factor ETF. FPE, First Trust Preferred Securities and Income ETF. FPEI, First Trust Institutional Preferred Securities and Income ETF. FPF, First Trust Intermediate Duration Preferred Income Fund. FPI, Farmland Partners. FPL, First Trust New Opportunities MLP and Energy Fund. FPX, First Trust U.S. Equity Opportunities ETF. FQAL, Fidelity Quality Factor ETF. FR, First Industrial Realty Trust. FRA, BlackRock Floating Rate Income Strategies Fund. FREL, Fidelity MSCI Real Estate Index Fund. FRI, First Trust S&P REIT Index Fund. FRO, Frontline PLC. FRT, Federal Realty Investment Trust. FSCO, FS Credit Opportunities Corp. FSD, First Trust High Income Long Short Fund. FSIG, First Trust Limited Duration Investment Grade Corporation. FSK, FSKKR Capital Corp. FSMB, First Trust Short Duration Managed Municipal ETF. FSMD, Fidelity Small Mid-Factor ETF. FSS, Federal Signal Corporation. FSTA, Fidelity MSCI Consumer Staples Index ETF. FT, Franklin Universal Trust. FTEC, Fidelity MSCI Information Technology Index ETF. FTF, Franklin Limited Duration Income Trust. And FTHY, First Trust High Yield Opportunities 2027 Term Fund. FTLS, First Trust Long Short Equity ETF. FTS, Fortis Inc. FTSD, Franklin Short Duration U.S. Government ETF. FTV, Fortive Corporation. FUL, HB Fuller Company. FUMB, First Trust Ultra Short Duration Municipal ETF. FUN, Cedar Fair. FUTY, Fidelity MSCI Utilities Index ETF. FVAL, Fidelity Value Factor ETF. FVD, First Trust Value Line Dividend Index Fund. FXA, Invesco Currency Australian Dollar Trust. FXB, Invesco Currency Shares British Pound Sterling Trust. FXC, Invesco Currency Shares Canadian Dollar Trust. FXD, First Trust Consumer Discretionary Alpha Dex Fund. FXE, Invesco Currency Shares Euro Currency Trust. FXG, First Trust Consumer Staples Alpha Dex Fund. FXH, First Trust Healthcare Alpha Dex Fund. FXI, iShares China Large Cap ETF. FXL, First Trust Technology Alpha Dex Fund. And FXN, First Trust Energy Alpha Dex Fund. FXO, First Trust Financials Alpha Dex Fund. FXP, ProShares Ultra Short FTSE China 50. FXR, First Trust Industrials Producer Durable Alpha Dex Fund. FXU, First Trust Utilities Alpha Dex Fund. FXZ, First Trust Materials Alpha Dex Fund. G, Genpact Limited. GAB, the Gabelli Equity Trust Incorporated. GAL, Spider SSGA Global Allocation ETF. GAM, General American Investors Company. GAMR, Wedbush ETFMG Video Game Tech ETF. GATX Corporation. GBAB, Guggenheim Taxable Municipal Bond and Investment Grade Debt Trust. GBI, Glacier Bank Corp. GBF, iShares Government Credit Bond ETF. GBIL, Goldman Sachs Access Treasury 0 to 1 year ETF. GBLI, Global Indemnity Group LLC. GBX, the Greenbrier Companies. GCC, Wisdom Tree Enhanced Commodity Strategy Fund. GCOR, Goldman Sachs Access U.S. Aggregate Bond ETF. GCV, the Gabelli Convertible and Income Securities Fund. GD, General Dynamics Corporation, GDIV, Harbor Dividend Growth Leaders ETF, GDL, the GDL Fund, GDO, Western Asset Global Corporate Defined Opportunity Fund Incorporated, GDV, the Gabelli Dividend and Income Trust, GDX, Van Eck Gold Miners, GDX, Van Eck's Junior Gold Miners ETF, GE, General Electric, GEF, Grief Incorporated, GEL, Genesis Energy, GEM, Goldman Sachs, Active Beta Emerging Markets Equity ETF, GER, Goldman Sachs MLP and Energy Renaissance Fund, GERM, ETFMG Treatments, Testing and Advancements ETF, GES, GES, GF, the New Germany Fund, GFF, Griffin Corp, GFI, Goldfields Limited, GFL, GFL Environmental Incorporated, GGB, Gerdo SA, and GGG Graco Incorporated. GCN, Gamco Global Gold Natural Resources and Income Trust, GGT, the Gabelli Multimedia Trust Incorporated, GZ, the Gabelli Global Small and Mid-Cap Value Trust, the GHC, Graham Holdings Company, GHG, Green Tree Hospitality Group, GHI, Greystone Housing Impact Investors, GHL, Green Hill and Company Incorporated, GHY, PGIM, Global High Yield Fund Incorporated, GHYB, Goldman Sachs Access High Yield Corporate Bond ETF, GIC, Global Industrial Company, GIGB, Goldman Sachs Access Investment Grade Corporate Bond ETF, GII, Spider S&P Global Infrastructure ETF, GIL, Gildan Activewear, GIM, Templeton Global Income Fund, GINN, Goldman Sachs Innovative Equity ETF, GIS, General Mills, GK Advisor Shares, Gerber Kawasaki ETF, GL Globe Life Incorporated, GLIN, Van Eck India Growth Leaders ETF, and GLO Cloud Global Opportunities Fund. GLOP, Gas Log Partners, GLP, Global Partners, GLQ, Clout Global Equity Fund, GLT, Glatfelter Corporation, GLU, the Gabelli Global Utility and Income Trust, GLW, Corning, GM, General Motors Company, GMF, Spider S&P Emerging Asia Pacific ETF, GMRE, Global Medical REIT Incorporated, GNE, Genie Energy, GNK, Genco Shipping and Trading Limited, GNL, Global Net Lease, GNR, Spider S&P Global Natural Resources ETF, GNT, Gamco Natural Resources Golden Income Trust, GNTY, Guarantee Bank Shares Incorporated, GOAU, U.S. Global Go Gold and Precious Metal Miners, GOEX, Global X Gold Explorers ETF, GOF, Guggenheim Strategic Opportunities Fund, GOLD, Barrick Gold Corporation, and GOLF, Acushnet Holdings Corporation. GPC, Genuine Parts Company, GPI, Group 1 Automotive, GPK, Graphic Packaging Holding Company, GPMT, Granite Point Mortgage Trust Incorporated, GPN, Global Payments, GPRK, Geopark Limited, GPS, The Gap, GQRE, FlexShares Global Quality Real Estate Index Fund, GRC, The Gorman Rupp Company, GREK, Global X MSCI Greece ETF, GRES, IQ Global Resources ETF, GRMN, Garmin, GRNB, Van Eck Green Bond ETF, GRNT, Granite Ridge Resources Incorporated, GRX, the Gabelli Healthcare and Wellness Trust, GS, the Goldman Sachs Group, GSBD, Goldman Sachs BDC Incorporated, GSEU, Goldman Sachs Active Beta Europe Equity ETF, GSFP, Goldman Sachs Future Planet Equity ETF, GSIE, Goldman Sachs Active Beta International Equity ETF. GSY, Goldman Sachs Active Beta Japan Equity ETF, GSK, GSK PLC, GSL Global Ship Lease, GSLC, Goldman Sachs Active Beta US Large Cap Equity ETF, GSCC, Goldman Sachs Active Beta US Small Cap Equity ETF, GSY Invesco Ultra Short Duration ETF, GTEK, Goldman Sachs Future Tech Leaders Equity ETF, GTN, Gray Television, GTO, Invesco Total Return Bond ETF. GTY, Getty Realty Corp. GUNR, Flex Shares, Morningstar Global Upstream Natural Resources Index Fund. GURU, Global X Guru Index ETF. GUSH, Direxion Daily, S&P Oil and Gas, and Explorer EXP and produce both 2X shares. GUT, the Gabelli Utility Trust. GVA, Granite Construction Incorporated. GVIP, Goldman Sachs Hedge Industry VIP ETF. GWW, WW Granger. GWX, Spider S&P International Small Cap ETF. GXC, Spider S&P China ETF. GXG, Global X MSCI Colombia ETF. GYLD, Aero Dow Jones Global Yield ETF. HACK, ETFMG Prime Cybersecurity ETF. HAIL, Spider S&P Kensho Smart Mobility ETF. HAL, Halliburton Company. HAP, Van Eck Natural Resources ETF. HASI, Hannon Armstrong Sustainable Infrastructure Capital Incorporated. HAUZ, X-Trackers International Real Estate ETF. HAWX, iShares Currency Hedged MSCI ACWI XUS ETF. HBB, Hamilton Beach Brands Holding Company. HBM, Hudbay Minerals Incorporated. HCA, HCA Healthcare. HCC, Warrior Met Coal. HCI, HCI Group. HD, The Home Depot. HDAW, X-Trackers, MSCI, All World XUS High Dividend Yield Hedged Equity ETF. HDB, HDFC Bank Limited. HDEF, X-Trackers, MSCI, EAFE High Dividend Yield Equity ETF. HDG, ProShares Hedge Replication ETF. HDLB, ETRACS, Monthly Pay, 2 times Leveraged U.S. High Dividend Low Volatility ETN. And HDMV, First Trust Horizon Managed Volatility Developed International ETF. HDV, iShares Core High Dividend ETF. HE, Hawaiian Electric Industries. HEDJ, Wisdom Tree Europe Hedged Equity Fund. HEI, Heiko Corporation. HEI-A, Heiko Corporation. HEP, Holly Energy Partners. HEQ, John Hancock Hedged Equity and Income Fund. HEQT, Simplify Hedged Equity ETF. HES, Hess Corporation. HESM, Hess Midstream LP. HEWJ, iShares Currency Hedged MSCI Japan ETF. HEWU, iShares Currency Hedged MSCI United Kingdom ETF. HEZU, iShares Currency Hedged MSCI Eurozone ETF. HFND, Unlimited HFND Multi-Strategy Return Tracker ETF. HFRO, Highland Funds 1 Income Highland Income Fund. HFXI, IQ, FTSE International Equity Currency Neutral ETF. HGLB, Highland Global Allocation Fund. HI, Hillenbrand Incorporated. HIBL, Direxion Daily S&P 500 High Beta Bull 3 times shares. HIBS, Direxion Daily S&P 500 High Beta Bear 3 times shares. HIE, Miller Howard High Income Equity Fund. HIG, the Hartford Financial Services Group. HIGH, Simplify Enhanced Income ETF. HII, Huntington Ingalls Industries. HIO, Western Asset High Income Opportunity Fund. HIPS, Granite Shares HIPS U.S. High Income ETF. HIW, Highwoods Properties. HIX, Western Asset High Income Fund 2. HJEN, Direxion Hydrogen ETF. HL, Hecla Mining Company. HLI, Houlihan Lokey Incorporated. HLIO, Helios Technologies. HLN, Halion PLC. HLT, Hilton Worldwide. HMC, Honda Motor Company. HMN, Horace Mann Educators Corporation. HMOP, Hartford Municipal Opportunities ETF. HMY, Harmony Gold Mining Company Limited. HNI, HNI Corporation. HNW, Pioneer Diversified High Income Fund Incorporated. HOG, Harley Davidson Incorporated. HOMB, Home Bank Shares Incorporated. HOMZ, the Hoya Capital Housing ETF. HP, Helmerich and Payne. HPE, Hewlett Packard Enterprise Company. HPF, John Hancock Preferred Income Fund 2. HPI, John Hancock Preferred Income Fund. HPI, HPP, Hudson Pacific Properties. HPQ, HP Inc. HPS, John Hancock Preferred Income Fund 3. HQH, Tekla Healthcare Investors. HQL, Tekla Life Sciences Investors. HR, Healthcare Realty Trust Incorporated. HRB, H&R Block. HRI, Herc Holdings. HRL, Hormel Foods. HRTG, Heritage Insurance Holdings. HSBC, HSBC Holdings PLC. HSCZ, iShares Currency Hedged, MSCI, EAFE Small Cap ETF, and HSY, the Hershey Company. Yeah, I love it. Oh, here we go. HT, Hersha Hospitality Trust. HTAB, Hartford Schroeder's Tax Aware Bond ETF. HTD, John Hancock Tax Advantage Dividend Income Fund. HTGC, Hercules Capital. HTH, Hilltop Holdings. HTRB, Hartford Total Return Bond ETF. HTY, John Hancock Tax Advantage Global Shareholder Yield Fund. HUBB, Hubble Incorporated. HUM, Humana. HUN, Huntsman Corporation. HUSV, First Trust Horizon Managed Volatility Domestic ETF. HVT, Haverty Furniture Companies. HWM, Howmet Aerospace. HXL, Hexcel Corporation. HY, Heister Yale Materials Handling. HYB, the New America High Income Fund. HYDW, X-Trackers Low Beta High Yield Bond ETF. HYEM, Van Eck Emerging Markets High Yield Bond ETF. HYG, iShares iBox $ High Yield Corporate Bond ETF. And HYGH, iShares Interest Rate Hedged High Yield Bond ETF. HYGV, FlexShares High Yield Value Scored Bond Index Fund. HYI, Western Asset High Yield Defined Opportunity Fund. HYLB, X-Trackers USD High Yield Corporate Bond ETF. HYLD, High Yield ETF. HYMB, Spider Nuveen Bloomberg High Yield Municipal Bond ETF. HYS, PIMCO 0 to 5 High Year Yield Corporate Bond Index ETF. HYT, BlackRock Corporate High Yield Fund Incorporated. HYUP, X-Trackers High Beta High Yield Bond ETF. IAE, Voya Asia Pacific High Dividend Equity Income Fund. IAI, iShares U.S. Broker Dealers and Securities Exchanges ETF. IAK, iShares U.S. Insurance ETF. IAT, iShares U.S. Regional Banks ETF. IBD, Inspire Corporate Bond ETF. IBDO, iShares Bond December 2023 Term Corporate ETF. IBDP, iShares Bonds December 2024 Term Corporate ETF. IBDQ, iShares Bonds December 2025 Term Corporate ETF. IBDR, iShares Bonds December 2026 Term Corporate ETF. IBDS, iShares Bonds December 2027 Term Corporate ETF. IBDT, iShares Bonds December 2028 Term Corporate ETF. IBDU, iShares Bonds December 2029 Term Corporate ETF. IBDW, iShares Bonds December 2031 Term Corporate ETF. IBLC, iShares Blockchain and Tech ETF. IBM, International Business Machines. IBN, ICICI Bank Limited. IBND, Spider Bloomberg International Corporate Bond ETF. IBP, Installed Building Products Incorporated. ICAP, InfraCap Equity Income Fund ETF. ICE, Intercontinental Exchange Incorporated. IDA, IDA Corp. IDE, Voya Infrastructure, Industrials and Materials Fund. IDEV, iShares Core MSCI International Developed Markets ETF. IDHQ, Invesco S&P International Developed Quality ETF. IDLV, Invesco S&P International Developed Low Quality ETF. IDMO Invesco S&P International Developed Momentum ETF. IDNA iShares Genomics Immunology and Healthcare ETF. IDOG ALPS International Sector Dividend Dogs ETF. IDRV iShares Self-Driving EV and Tech ETF. IDU, the iShares US Utilities ETF. IDX, VanEck Indonesia Index ETF. IEMG, iShares Core MSCI Emerging Markets ETF. IEUR, iShares Core MSCI Europe ETF, IEV, iShares Europe ETF, IEX, IDEX Corporation, IEZ, iShares US Oil Equipment and Services ETF, IFF, International Flavors and Fragrances, IFM, the India Fund, IFS, Intercorp Financial Services, IG, Principal Investment Grade Corporate Active ETF, IGA, Voya Global Advantage and Premium Opportunity Fund, IGBH, iShares Interest Rate Hedged Long-Term Corporate Bond ETF, IGD, Voya Global Equity Dividend and Premium Opportunity Fund, IGI, Western Asset Investment Grade Defined Opportunity Trust, IGLB, iShares 10-plus year investment grade corporate bond fund, IGM, iShares Expanded Tech Sector ETF, IGN, iShares North American Tech Multimedia Networking ETF, IGR, CBRE Global Real Estate Income Fund, IGT International Game Technology, IGTR Innovator Gradient Tactical Rotation Strategy ETF, IHAK iShares Cybersecurity and Tech ETF, IHD Voya Emerging Markets High Dividend Equity Fund. Stretch delay. IHDG Wisdom Tree International Hedged Quality Dividend Growth Fund. IHE iShares US Pharmaceuticals ETF. IHF iShares US Healthcare Providers ETF. IHD Intercontinental Hotels Group. IHI iShares US Medical Devices ETF. IHIT Invesco High Income 2023 Target Term Fund. IHY VanEck International High Yield Bond ETF. IF Morgan Stanley India Investment Fund Incorporated. IIGD Invesco Investment Grade Defensive ETF. IIIN InSteel Industries. IIM Invesco Value Municipal Income Trust. IIPR Innovative Industrial Properties. IJH iShares Core S&P Midcap ETF. IJJ iShares S&P Midcap 400 Value ETF, IJK, iShares S&P Midcap 400 Growth ETF, IJR, iShares Core S&P Small Cap ETF, IJS, iShares Small Cap 600 Value ETF, ILCB, iShares Morningstar US Equity ETF, ILCG, iShares Morningstar Growth ETF, ILCV, iShares Morningstar Value ETF. ILF, iShares Latin America 40 ETF. ILTB, iShares Core 10 Plus Year US Bond ETF. IMCB, iShares Morningstar Midcap ETF. IMCG, iShares Morningstar Midcap Growth ETF. IMTB, iShares Core 5 to 10 year USD Bond ETF. IMTM, iShares MSCI International Momentum Factor ETF. INCO, Colombia India Consumer ETF. INDL, Direxion Daily MSCI India Bull 2x shares. INDS, Pacer Benchmark Industrial Real Estate SCTR ETF. INFL, Horizon Kinetics Inflation Beneficiaries ETF. INFY, Infosys Limited. ING Grope. NV, INGR, Ingredion Incorporated. INKM, Spider SSGA Income Allocation ETF. INMU, BlackRock Intermediate Muni Income Bond ETF. INN, Summit Hotel Properties Inc. INSI, Insight Select Income Fund. INSW, International Seaways. INT, World Fuel Services Corporation. INTF, iShares International Equity Factor ETF. INVH, Invitation Homes Incorporated. IOO, iShares Global 100 ETF. IP International Paper. IPAC, iShares Core MSCI Pacific ETF. IPAG, the Interpublic Group of Companies. IQDE, FlexShares International Quality Dividend Defensive Index Fund. IQDF, FlexShares International Quality Dividend Index Fund. IQDY, FlexShares International Quality Dividend Dynamic Index Fund. IQI, Invesco Quality Municipal Income Trust. IQIN, IQ 500 International ETF. IQLT, iShares MSCI International Quality Factor ETF. IQSI, IQ Candrium ESG International Equity ETF, IR Ingersoll Rand, IRBO, iShares Robotics and Artificial Intelligence Multi-Sector ETF, IRM, Iron Mountain Incorporated, IRS, IRSA, Inversiones en Representaciones Sociedad Anónima, IRT, Independence Realty Trust, Inc., ISCB, iShares Morningstar Small Cap ETF, ISCF, iShares MSCI Small Cap Multi-Factor ETF, ISCG, iShares Morningstar Small Cap Growth ETF. Come on. ISCV, iShares Morningstar Small Cap Value ETF. ISD, PGIM High Yield Bond Fund Inc., ISMD Inspire Small Mid Cap ETF, ISRA Van Eck Israel ETF, ISWN Amplify Black Swan ISWN ETF, ITCL Banco Itaú Chile ITOT, iShares Core S&P Total US Stock Market ETF, ITT Inc., ITUB Itaú Unibanco Holding, ITW Illinois Tool Works, IVE iShares S&P 500 Value ETF, IVES Wedbush ETFMG Global Cloud Technology ETF, IVLU iShares Edge MSCI International Value Factor ETF, IVOG Vanguard S&P Midcap 400 Growth Index Fund, IVOL Quadratic Interest Rate Volatility and Inflation Hedge ETF New, IVOO Vanguard S&P 500 S&P Midcap 400 Index Fund, IVOV Vanguard S&P Midcap 400 Value Index Fund, IVR Invesco Mortgage Capital Incorporated, IVT InventTrust Properties Corp, IVV iShares Core S&P 500 ETF. What is the deal? Why is this taking so long? Seriously? Well, this will be a nice little break. Hello? Come on, don't do me like that. IVW, iShares S&P 500 Growth ETF, IVZ Invesco Limited, IWB, iShares Russell 1000 ETF, IWC, iShares Microcap ETF, IWD, iShares Russell 1000 Value ETF, IWF, iShares Russell 1000 Growth ETF, IWIN, Amplify Inflation Fighter ETF, IWL, iShares Russell Top 200 ETF, IWM, iShares Russell 2000 ETF, IWN, iShares Russell 2000 Value ETF, IWO, iShares Russell 2000 Growth ETF, IWP, iShares Russell Midcap Growth ETF, IWR, iShares Russell Midcap ETF, IWS, iShares Russell Midcap Value ETF, IWV, iShares Russell 3000 ETF, IWX, iShares Russell Top 200 Value ETF, IWY, iShares Russell Top 200 Growth ETF, IX, ORIX Corporation, IXC, iShares Global Energy ETF, IXG, iShares Global Financials ETF. IXJ, iShares Global Healthcare ETF, IXN, iShares Global Tech ETF. IXP, iShares Global Com Services ETF. IYC, iShares US Consumer Discretionary ETF. IYE, iShares US Energy ETF. IYF, iShares US Financials ETF. IYG, iShares US Financial Services ETF. IYH, iShares US Healthcare ETF. IYK, iShares US Consumer Staples ETF. IYM, iShares US Basic Materials ETF. IYR, iShares US Real Estate ETF. IYW, iShares US Technology ETF. IYY, iShares Dow Jones US ETF. J, Jacobs Solutions. JBGS, JBG Smith Properties. JBL, Jabil Inc. JBT, John Bean Technologies Corp. JCE, Nuveen Core Equity Alpha Fund. JCI, Johnson Controls International. JDST, Direxion Daily Junior Gold Miners Index Bear 2 times shares. JEF, Jefferies Financial Group. JEPI, JP Morgan Equity Premium Income Fund, Income ETF. JEQ, Aberdeen Japan Equity Fund Inc. JFR, Nuveen Floating Rate Income Fund. JGH, Nuveen Global High Income Fund. JHEM, John Hancock Multi-Factor Emerging Markets ETF. JHG, Janus Henderson Group. JHI, John Hancock Investors Trust. JHMD, John Hancock Multi-Factor Developed International ETF. JHML, John Hancock Multi-Factor Large Cap ETF. JHMM, John Hancock Multi-Factor Mid Cap ETF. JHS, John Hancock Income Securities Trust. JHSC, John Hancock Multi-Factor Small Cap ETF. JHX, James Hardie Industries PLC. JIG, JP Morgan International Growth ETF. JIRE, JP Morgan International Research Enhanced Equity ETF. JLS, Nuveen Mortgage and Income Fund. JMBS, Janus Henderson Mortgage Backed Securities ETF. JMEE, JP Morgan Market Expansion Enhanced Equity ETF. JMM, Nuveen Multi-Market Income Fund. JMOM, JP Morgan US Momentum Factor ETF. JNJ, Johnson & Johnson. JNK, Spider Bloomberg High Yield Bond ETF. JNPR, Juniper Networks. JNUG, Direxion Daily Junior Miners Index. Direxion Daily Junior Gold Miners Index Bull 2 times shares. JOE, the St. Joe Company. JOF, Japan Smaller Capitalization Fund. JOJO, ATAC Credit Rotation ETF. JPC, Nuveen Preferred and Income Opportunities Fund. JPEM, JP Morgan Diversified Return Emerging Markets Equity ETF. JPI, Nuveen Preferred and Income Term Fund. JPIE, JP Morgan Income ETF. JPIN, JP Morgan Diversified Return International Equity ETF. JPM, JP Morgan Chase and Company. JPMB, JP Morgan US Emerging Markets Sovereign Bond ETF. JPME, JP Morgan Diversified Return US Mid Cap Equity ETF. JPRE, JP Morgan Realty Income ETF. JPS, Nuveen Preferred Securities Income Fund. JPSE, JP Morgan Diversified Return US Small Cap Equity ETF. And JPST, JP Morgan Ultra Short Income ETF. JPUS, JP Morgan Diversified Return Equity US ETF. JPXN, iShares JPX Nikkei 400 ETF. JQC, Nuveen Credit Strategies Income Fund. JQUA, JP Morgan US Quality Factor ETF. JRI, Nuveen Real Asset Income and Growth Fund. JRO, Nuveen Floating Rate Income Opportunity Fund. JRS, Nuveen Real Estate Income Fund. JSD, Nuveen Short Duration Credit Opportunities Fund. JSTC, Adazina Social Justice All Cap Global ETF. JUST, Goldman Sachs Just US Large Cap Equity ETF. JVAL, JP Morgan US Value Factor ETF. JWN, Nordstrom Inc. JXI, iShares Global Utilities ETF. JXN, Jackson Financial. K, Kellogg Company. KAI, Kadant Inc., KALL, Crane Shares MSCI, All China Index ETF, KAM, Command Corporation, KARS, Crane Shares Electric Vehicles and Future Mobility Index ETF, KB Financial Group. KBA, Crane Shares, Bocera MCSI China A50 Connect Index ETF, KBE, Spider S&P Bank ETF, KBH, KB Home, KBR, KCCA, Crane Shares California Carbon Allowance ETF, KCE, SP Spider S&P Capital Markets ETF, KEMQ, Crane Shares Emerging Markets Consumer Technology Index ETF, KEN, Kinnan Holdings, KEY Key Corp, KF, the Korea Fund, KFY, Corn Ferry, KFYP, Crane Shares CICC, China Leaders 100 Index ETF, KGC, Kinross Gold Corp, KGRN, Crane Shares MSCI, China Clean Technology ETF, KIE, Spider S&P Insurance ETF, KIM, Kimco Realty Corporation, KIO, KKR Income Opportunities Fund, KKR and Company Incorporated, KLDW, Knowledge Leaders Developed World ETF, and KMB, Kimberly Clark. KMF, Kane Anderson Next Gen Energy Infrastructure Incorporated, KMI Kinder Morgan Incorporated, KMLM, KFA Mount Lucas Index Strategy ETF, KMPR Kemper Corporation, KMT Kennametal Incorporated, KNOP Not Offshore Partners LP, KNSL Kinsale Court Capital Group, KNTK Kinetic Holdings Incorporated, KNX, Knight Swift Transportation Holdings, KO, The Coca-Cola Company, KOF, Coca-Cola, FEMSA, SAB, KOIN, Capital Link Global FinTech Leaders ETF, KOKU, X-Trackers MSCI, Kokusai Equity ETF, KOMP, SPDR, Spider, S&P, Kensho, New Economies Composite ETF, KOP, Coppers Holdings, KORP, American Century Diversified Corporate Bond ETF, KORU, Direxion Daily, South Korea Bull 3x shares, KR, The Kroger Company, KRC, Kilroy Realty Corporation, KRE, Spider S&P Regional Banking ETF. KREF, KKR Real Estate Finance Trust Incorporated, KRG, Kite Realty Group Trust, KRO, Kronos Worldwide, KRP, Kimball Royalty Partners LP, KSA, iShares MSCI Saudi Arabia ETF, KSM, DWS Strategic Municipal Income Trust, KSS, Kohl's Corporation, KT Corporation, KTB, Contour Brands, KTF, DWS Municipal Income Trust, KURE, Crane Shares MSCI All China Healthcare Index ETF, KW, Kennedy Wilson Holdings Incorporated, KWR, Quaker Chemical Corporation, KXI, iShares Global Consumer Staples ETF, KYN, Kane Anderson Energy Infrastructure Fund Incorporated, Lowe's Corporation, LABD, Direxion Daily, S&P Biotech Bear, 3x shares, LAD, Lithia Motors, LADR, Ladder Corporation, and LAZ Lazard Limited. LBAY Leatherback Long Short Alternative Yield ETF, LBRT Liberty Energy Incorporated, LCII LCI Industries, LCTU BlackRock US Carbon Transition Readiness ETF, LDI Loan Depot, LDOS Leidos Holdings, LDP Conan Steers Limited Duration Preferred and Income Fund Incorporated, LDUR PIMCO Enhanced Low Duration Active ETF, LEA Lear Corporation, LEG Leggett and Platt, LEMB iShares JP Morgan EM Local Currency Bond ETF, LEN Lenner Corporation, LEN-B Lenner Corporation, LEO, BNY Mellon Strategic Municipals Incorporated, LEVI, Levi Strauss, LFEQ, Van Eck Long Flat Trend ETF, LFT, Lumen Finance Trust, LGH, HCM Defender 500 Index ETF, LGI, Lazard Global Total Return on Income Fund, LGLV, SPDR, SSGA, US Large Cap Low Volatility Index ETF. LGOV, First Trust Long Duration Opportunities ETF, LH, Laboratory Corporation of America Holdings, LHX, L3 Harris Technologies, LII, Lennox International, LAN, Lind PLC, LIT, Global X, Lithium and Battery Tech ETF, LLY, Eli Lilly, LMT, Lockheed Martin, LNC, Lincoln National Corporation, LND, Brasilegro, CIA, Bras de Prop Agricolas, ADR, LNN, Lindsay Corporation, LOB, Live Oak Bank Shares, LOMA, Loma Negra, Compañía Industrial Argentina, Sociedad Anónima, LONZ, PIMCO Senior Loan Active ETF, LOW, Lowe's Companies, LPL, LG Display, LPX, Louisiana Pacific Corporation, LQD, iShares, iBox, $ Investment Grade Corporate Bond ETF, LQDH, iShares Interest Rate Hedged Corporate Bond ETF, and LRGF, the iShares US Equity Factor ETF. LSAF, Leader Shares TM, Alpha Factor US Core Equity ETF, LSI, Life Storage, LSST, Natixis, Loomis Sales Short Duration Income ETF, LTC, LTC Properties, LTPZ, LTC Properties Inc., LTPZ, PIMCO 15 plus year US Tips Index ETF, LU, Lufax Holding Limited, LUV, Southwest Airlines, LW, Lamb Weston Holdings, LXFR, Luxfer Holdings, LXP, LXP Industrial, LYB, Lyondell Industries, LYG, Lloyd's Banking Group, LZB, Lazy Boy, M, Macy's, MA, MasterCard, MAA, Mid-America Apartment Communities, MAC, The Macerich Company, MAIN, Main Street Capital Corporation, MAN, Manpower Group, MANU, Manchester United PLC. MAS, Masco Corporation, MATV, Matsiv Holdings Incorporated, MATX, Matson Inc., MAV, Pioneer Municipal High Income Advantage Fund Incorporated, MBOX, Freedom Day Dividend ETF, MBSD, Flex Shares Disciplined Duration MBS Index Fund, MC, Moelis and Company, MCD, McDonald's Corporation, MCI, Barings Corporate Investors, MCK, McKesson Corporation, MCN, Madison Covered Call and Equity Strategy Fund, MCO, Moody's Corporation, MCR, MFS Charter Income Trust, MCS, The Marcus Corporation, MCY, Mercury General Corporation, MDC Holdings Inc., MDT Medtronic, MDU Resources Group, MDV, Modiv, and MDY Spider S&P Midcap 400 ETF Trust. MDYG Spider S&P 400 Mid-Cap Growth ETF, MDYV Spider S&P 400 Mid-Cap Value ETF, MED Medifast, MEGI Mainstay, CBRE Global Infrastructure Megatrends Fund, MEI Methode Electronics, MET MetLife, METV Roundhill Ball Metaverse ETF, MEXX Direxion Daily MSCI Mexico Bolt 3 times shares, MFA Financial, MFC Manulife Financial Corporation, MFD Macquarie First Trust Global Infrastructure Utilities Dividend and Income Fund, MFDX PIMCO RAFI Dynamic Multi-Factor International Equity ETF, MFEM PIMCO RAFI Dynamic Multi-Factor Emerging Markets Equity ETF, MFG Mizuho Financial Group, MFM MFS Municipal Income Trust, MFUS PIMCO RAFI Dynamic Multi-Factor U.S. Equity ETF, MFV MFS Special Value Trust, MGA Magna International Group, MGC, the Vanguard Mega Cap Index Fund, and MGF, MFS Government Markets Income Trust. Oh, we're here. MGK, Vanguard Mega Cap Growth Index Fund, MGM Resorts International, MGV, Vanguard Mega Cap Value Index Fund, MGY, Magnolia Oil and Gas Corporation, MHD, BlackRock Muni Holdings Fund Incorporated, MHF, Western Asset Municipal High Income Fund, MHI, Pioneer Municipal High Income Fund. MHN, BlackRock Muni Holdings New York Quality Fund. MIDU, Direxion Daily Midcap Bull, 3 times shares. MIN, MFS Intermediate Income Trust. MINC, Advisor Shares New Fleet Multi-Sector Income ETF. MINO, PIMCO Municipal Income Opportunities Active ETF. MINT, PIMCO Enhanced Short Maturity Active ETF. MITT, AG Mortgage Investment Trust. MIXT, MIX Telematics Limited. MIY, BlackRock Muni Yield Michigan Quality Fund. MJ, ETFMG Alternative Harvest ETF. MKC, McCormick and Company. MLI, Mueller Industries. MLM, Martin Marietta Materials Incorporated. MLPA, Global X MLP ETF, MLPB, UBS, eTrax, Illyrian MLP Infrastructure Index ETN Series B, MLPX, Global X MLP and Energy Infrastructure ETF, MLR, Miller Industries, MMC, Marsh & McLennan Companies, MMD, Mainstay McKay Defined Term Municipal Opportunities Fund, MMI, Marcus and Millichap, MMIN, IQ McKay Municipal Insured ETF, MMIT, IQ McKay Municipal Intermediate ETF, MMM 3M Company, MMP Magellan Midstream Partners, MMS Maximus Incorporated, MMT MFS Multi-Market Income Trust, MMTM SPDR Spider S&P 1500 Momentum Tilt ETF, MMU Western Asset Managed Municipals Fund Incorporated, MNP Western Asset Municipal Partners Fund Incorporated, MINISO Group Holding, MNSO Miniso Group Holding Limited, MO Altria Group, MOG-A Moog Incorporated, MOO Van Eck Agribusiness ETF. How clever, Van Eck. I see you with the moo. MORT, Van Eck Mortgage REIT Income ETF. MOS, The Mosaic Company. MOTO, Smart ETF, Smart Transportation and Technology ETF. MOV, Movado Group Incorporated. MPA, BlackRock Muni Yield Pennsylvania Quality Fund. MPC, Marathon Petroleum Corp. MPLX, MPLXLP. MPV, Barings Participation Investors. MPW, Medical Properties Trust. MPX, Marine Products Corporation. MQT, BlackRock Muni Yield Quality Fund 2. MQY, BlackRock Muni Yield Quality Fund. MRK, Merck and Company. MRO, Marathon Oil Corporation. MS, Morgan Stanley. MSA Safety Incorporated. MSB, Masabi Trust. MSCI Incorporated. MSD, Morgan Stanley Emerging Markets Debt Fund Incorporated. And MSI, Motorola Solutions Incorporated. I didn't know they were still around. Who knew? MSM, MSC Industrial Direct Company Incorporated. MT, ArcelorMittal SA. MTB, M&T Bank Corporation. MTDR, Matador Resources Company. MTG, MGIC Investment Corporation. MTGP, Wisdom Tree Mortgage Plus Bond Fund. MTH, Meritage Homes Corporation. MTN, Vail Resorts. MTR, Mesa Royalty Trust. MTRN, Materian Corporation. MTX, Minerals Technology Incorporated. MUA, BlackRock Muni Assets Fund Incorporated. MUB, iShares National Muni Bond Fund. MUC, BlackRock Muni Holdings California Quality Fund Incorporated. MUE, BlackRock Muni Holdings Quality Fund 2. MUFG, Mitsubishi UFJ Financial Group Incorporated. MUI, BlackRock Municipal Income Fund. MUJ, BlackRock Muni Holdings New Jersey Quality Fund Incorporated. PIMCO, MUNI, PIMCO Intermediate Municipal Bond Active ETF. MUR, Murphy Oil Corporation. Exciting. Come on, computer. Let's go. MUSA, Murphy USA Incorporated. MUST, Columbia Multi-Sector Municipal Income ETF. MVF, BlackRock Munivest Fund. MVO Oil Trust, MVT, BlackRock Munivest Fund 2, MVV, ProShares Ultra Midcap 400, MWA, Mueller Water Products Inc., MXF, the Mexico Fund, MXI, iShares Global Materials ETF, MYD, BlackRock Muni Fund Yield, MYE, Myers Industries Incorporated, MYI, BlackRock Muni Yield Quality Fund 3, 3. MYN, BlackRock Muni Yield New York Quality Fund, MYY, ProShares Short Midcap 400, MZZ, ProShares Ultra Short Midcap 400, NAC, Nuveen California Quality Municipal Income Fund, NACP, Impact Shares NAACP Minority Empowerment ETF, NAD, Nuveen Quality Municipal Income Fund, NAIL, Direxion Daily Home Builders and Supplies Bull 3 times shares, NAN, Nuveen New York Quality Municipal Income Fund. I was going to take a sip. I guess I will. Come on. NANR, Spider S&P North American Natural Resources ETF, NAT Nordic American Tankers Limited, NAZ Nuveen Arizona Quality Municipal Income Fund, NBB Nuveen Taxable Municipal Income Fund, NBCM Neuberger Berman Commodity Strategy ETF, NBH Neuberger Berman Municipal Fund Incorporated, NBHC National Bank Holdings Corp, NBO Neuberger Berman New York Municipal Fund, NBW Neuberger Berman California Municipal Fund, NBXG, Neuberger Berman Next Generation Connectivity Fund, NACCO Industries, NCA, Nuveen California Municipal Value Fund, NCV, Virtus Convertible and Income Fund, NCZ, Virtus Convertible and Income Fund 2, NDP, Tortoise Energy Independence Fund, NEA, Nuveen AMT Free Quality Municipal Income Fund, NEE, Next Era Energy Incorporated, NEM, Newmont Corporation, NEP, Next Era Energy Partners, NERD, Round Hill Video Games ETF. Nerds. Nerd. That's awesome. NETI, Eneti Incorporated, NETL, Fundamental Income Net Lease Real Estate ETF, NEU, New Market Corporation, NEXA, Nexa Resources SA, NFG, Nexa Resources SA, NFG, National Fuel Gas Company, NFJ, Virtus Dividend Interest and Premium Strategy Fund, NFLT, Virtus New Fleet Multi-Sector Bond ETF, NFRA, Flex Shares Stocks Global Broad Infrastructure Index Fund, NGE Global X MSCI Nigeria ETF, NGG National Grid PLC, NGVC National Grocers by Vitamin Cottage, NHI National Health Investors, NHS Neuberger Berman High Yield Strategies Fund, NI NiSource, NIE Virtus Equity and Convertible Income Fund, NIM Nuveen Select Maturities Municipal Fund, NIMC, NiSource Incorporated, NIQ, Nuveen Intermediate Duration Quality Municipal Term Fund, NJR, New Jersey Resources Corporation, and NKE, Nike. NKX, Nuveen California AMT Free Quality Municipal Income Fund, NL Industries, NLR, Van Eck Uranium and Nuclear Energy ETF, NLY, Annaly Capital Management, NMCO, Nuveen Municipal Credit Opportunities Fund, NMI, Nuveen Municipal Income Fund, NML, Neuberger Berman MLP and Energy Income Fund, NMM, Navios Maritime Partners, NMR, Nomura Holdings, NMS, Nuveen Minnesota Quality Municipal Income Fund, NMT, Nuveen Massachusetts Quality Municipal Income Fund, NMZ, Nuveen Municipal High Income Opportunity Fund, NNI, Nelnet, NNN REIT, NNY, Nuveen New York Municipal Value Fund, NOA, North American Construction Group, NOC, Northrop Grumman Corporation, NOG, Northern Oil and Gas, NOK, Nokia, OYJ, and NOM, Nuveen Missouri Quality Municipal Income Fund. Let's go. NORW Global X MSCI Norway ETF, NOV Inc., NPFD Nuveen Variable Rate Preferred and Income Fund, NPK National Presto Industries Incorporated, NPO Enpro Industries, NPV Nuveen Virginia Quality Municipal Income Fund, NQP Nuveen Pennsylvania Quality Municipal Income Fund, NREF Next Point Real Estate Finance, NRG Energy, NRGX, PIMCO Energy and Technical Credit Opportunities Fund, NRK, Nuveen New York AMT Free Quality Municipal Income Fund, NRO, Neuberger Berman Real Estate Securities Income Fund, NRP, Natural Resource Partners LP, NRT, North European Oil Royalty Trust, NS, New Start Energy LP, NSA National Storage Affiliates Trust, NSC Norfolk Southern Corporation, NSL Nuveen Senior Income Fund, NSP Insperity Inc., NTB The Bank of NT Butterfield and Son Limited. NTG Tortoise Midstream Energy Fund, NTR Nutrien, NTST Net Straight Corp, NTSX Wisdom Tree U.S. Efficient Core Fund, NUAG Nuveen Enhanced Yield U.S. Aggregate Bond ETF, NUBD Nuveen ESG U.S. Aggregate Bond ETF, NUE Nucor, NUGO Nuveen Growth Opportunities ETF, NUGT Direxion Daily Gold Miners Index Bull 2x shares, NUHY Nuveen ESG High Yield Corporate Bond ETF, NUS New Skin Enterprises, NUSA Nuveen Enhanced Yield 1 to 5 year Aggregate Bond ETF, NUSI Nationwide NASDAQ 100 Risk Managed Income ETF, NUV Nuveen Municipal Value Fund, NUW Nuveen AMT Free Municipal Value Fund, NVG Nuveen AMT Free Municipal Credit Income Fund, NVO Novo Nordisk AS, NVS Novartis AG, NVT Nvent Electric, and NWG NatWest Group PLC. NWN Northwest Natural Holding Company, NX Quanex Building Products Corporation, NXC Nuveen California Select Tax-Free Income Portfolio, NXDT Next Point Diversified Real Estate Trust, NXJ Nuveen New Jersey Quality Municipal Income Fund, NXN Nuveen New York Select Tax-Free Income Portfolio, Nuveen NXP Nuveen Select Tax-Free Income Portfolio, NXRT Next Point Residential Trust Incorporated, NYC American Strategic Investment Company, NYCB New York Community Bank Corp, NYF iShares New York Muni Bond ETF, NYT The New York Times Company, NZF Nuveen Municipal Credit Income Fund, Realty Income, OACP One Ascent Core Plus Bond ETF, OARK Yield Max ARC Option Income Strategy ETF, OC Owens Corning, ODC Oil Dry Corporation of America, OEC Orion Engineered Carbons SA, and OEF iShares S&P 100 ETF. OFC Corporate Office Properties Trust, OFG Bank Corp, OGE Energy, OGN Organon, OGS One Gas Inc., OHI Omega Healthcare Investors, OIA Invesco Municipal Income Opportunities Trust, OHI Vanek Oil Services ETF, OKE Oneoke Incorporated, OLN Olin Corporation, OLP One Liberty Properties, OMC Omnicom Group, OMF One Main Holdings, OMI Owens & Minor, ONEO Spider Russell 1000 Momentum Focus ETF, ONEV Spider Russell 1000 Low Volatility Focus ETF, ONEY Spider Russell 1000 Yield Focus ETF, ONL Orion Office REIT Incorporated, OPER ClearShares Ultra Short Maturity ETF, OPP River North Double Line Strategic Opportunity Fund Incorporated. Got him. We're getting there. Hey, we're getting there. You know. Oh, are we ready? We're ready. So there you go. OPY, Oppenheimer Holdings Incorporated, Cisco Gold Royalties Limited, ORA Ormat Technologies, ORAN Orange, ORC Orchid Island Capital, ORCC Owl Rock Capital Corporation, ORCL Oracle, ORFN Constrained Capital ESG Orphans ETF, ORI Old Republic International Corporation, OSK Oshkosh Corporation, OTIS Otis Worldwide, OUT Outfront Media, OVB Overlay Shares Core Bond ETF, OVL Overlay Shares Large Cap Equity ETF, OVLH Overshares Hedged Large Cap Equity ETF, OVM Overlay Shares Municipal Bond ETF, OVT Overlay Shares Short-Term Bond ETF, OVV Ovintiv Incorporated, OWL Blue Owl Capital Incorporated, OXM Oxford Industries Incorporated. OXY, Occidental Petroleum Corporation, PAC, Grupo Aeroportuario del Pacifico, PAG, Penske Automotive Group, PAI, Western Asset Investment Grade Income Fund, PAK, Global X MSCI Pakistan ETF, PALC, Pacer Lunt Large Cap Multi-Factor Alternator ETF, PAXS, PIMCO Access Income Fund, PB Prosperity Bank Shares, PBD Invesco Global Clean Energy ETF, PBF Energy, PBI Pitney Bowes, PBJ Invesco Dynamic Food and Beverage ETF, PBP Invesco S&P 500 Buy Right ETF, PBR Petrolero Brasileiro SA, PBR-A Petroleo Brasileiro SA, PBS Invesco Dynamic Media ETF, PBT Permian Basin Royalty Trust, PBW Invesco Wilder Hill Clean Energy ETF, in PCEF Invesco CEF Income Composite ETF, PCF High Income Securities Fund. PCGU, PG&E Corporation, PCK, PIMCO California Municipal Income Fund 2, PCM Fund, PCN, PIMCO Corporate and Income Strategy Fund, PCQ, PIMCO California Municipal Income Fund, PCRB, Putnam ESG Core Bond ETF, PCY, Invesco Emerging Markets Sovereign Debt ETF, PDI, PIMCO Dynamic Income Fund, PDM, Piedmont Office Realty Trust, PDN, Invesco FTSE RAFI Developed Markets X US Small Mid ETF, PDO, PIMCO Dynamic Income Opportunities Fund, PDT, John Hancock Premium Dividend Fund, PEAK, Health Peak Properties Inc., PEB, Pebblebrook Hotel Trust, PEG, Public Service Enterprise Group Incorporated, PEJ, Invesco Dynamic Leisure and Entertainment ETF, PEO, Adams Natural Resources Fund, PFD, Flaherty and Crumrine Preferred Income Fund Incorporated, PFE, Pfizer, PFFA, Virtus Infracap, U.S. Preferred Stock ETF. PFD, Global U.S. Preferred ETF, PFFL, E-Trax 2 times monthly pay leverage preferred stock index ETN, PFFR, Infracap, REIT Preferred ETF, PFFV, Global X Variable Rate Preferred ETF, PFIG, Invesco Fundamental Investment Grade Corporate Bond ETF, PFIX, Simplify Interest Rate Hedge ETF, PFL, PIMCO Income Strategy Fund, PFLD, AAM Low Duration Preferred and Income Securities ETF, PFLT, Pennant Park Floating Rate Capital Limited, PFN, PIMCO Income Strategy Fund 2, PFO, Flaherty and Crumrine Preferred Income Opportunity Fund Incorporated, PFS, Provident Financial Services Inc., PFSI, PennyMac Financial Services Inc., PFXF, Van Eck Preferred Securities X Financials ETF, PG, the Procter & Gamble Company, PGAL, Global X MSCI Portugal ETF, PGF, Invesco Financial Preferred ETF, PGHY, Invesco Global Short-Term High Yield Bond ETF, PGP, PIMCO Global Stocks Plus and Income Fund, PGR, the Progressive Corporation. Who are these people that just showed up here? PGRE, Paramount Group Incorporated, PGRO, Putnam Focused Large Cap Growth ETF, PGX, Invesco Preferred ETF, PGZ, Principal Real Estate Income Fund, PH, Parker Hannifin Corporation, PHB, Invesco Fundamental High Yield Corporate Bond ETF, PHD, Pioneer Floating Rate Fund Inc., PHDG, Invesco S&P 500 Downside Hedged ETF, PHD, Konin-Klikia Phillips NV, PHI, PLDT, PHK, PIMCO High Income Fund, PHM, Pulte Group, PHT, Pioneer High Income Fund, PHX, PHX Minerals, PHYL, PGIM Active High Yield Bond ETF, PICB, Invesco International Corporate Bond ETF, PII, Polaris Incorporated, PILL, Direxion Daily Pharmaceutical and Medical Bull 3 times shares ETF, PIM, Putnam Master Intermediate Income Trust, PIN, Invesco India ETF. PINE, Alpine Income Property Trust, PINK, Simplify Healthcare ETF, PIPR, Piper Sandler Companies, PJP, Invesco Dynamic Pharmaceuticals ETF, PJT, PJT Partners, PK, Park Hotels and Resorts, PKB, Invesco Dynamic Building and Construction ETF, PKE, Park Aerospace Corp., PKG, Packaging Corporation of America, PKI, Revity Incorporation, PKST, Peakstone Realty Trust, PKX, Pasco Holdings, PLAT, Wisdom Tree Growth Leaders Fund, PLD, Prologis, PLDR, Putnam Sustainable Leaders ETF, PLOW, Douglas Dynamics, PLYM, Plymouth Industrial REIT, PM, Philip Morris International, PMF, PIMCO Municipal Income Fund, PML, PIMCO Municipal Income Fund, Part 2. Whoa, we're there. We're over 100. We're getting there. PMM, Putnam Managed Municipal Income Trust, PMO, Putnam Municipal Opportunities Trust, PMT, PennyMac Mortgage Investment Trust, PMX, PIMCO Municipal Income Fund, PNC, the PNC Financial Services Group, PNF, PIMCO New York Municipal Income Fund, PNI, PIMCO New York Municipal Income Fund 2, PNM, PNM Resources, PNNT, Pennant Park Investment Corporation, PNR, Pentair PLC, PNW, Pinnacle West Capital Corporation, POR, Portland General Electric Company, PPA, Invesco Aerospace and Defense ETF, PPG, PPG Industries, PBI, AXS Astoria Inflation Sensitive ETF, PPL, PPL Corporation, PPT, Putnam Premier Income Trust, PPTY, Vident, U.S. Diversified U.S. Real Estate ETF, PR, Permian Resources Corporation, and PRA, Pro Assurance Corporation. PREF, Principal Spectrum Preferred Securities Active ETF, PRF, Invesco FTSE RAFI US 1000 ETF, PRGO, Perigo Company, PRI Primerica, PRIM, Primoris Services Corporation, PRMW, Primo Water Corporation, PRT, Perm Rock Royalty Trust, PRU, Prudential Financial, PSA, Public Storage, PSF, Cohen & Steers Select, Preferred and Income Fund, PSI, Invesco Dynamic Semiconductors ETF, PSIL, Advisor Shares Psychedelics ETF, PSJ, Invesco Dynamics Software ETF, PSK, Spider ICE Preferred Securities ETF, PSO, Pearson PLC, PSP, Invesco Global Listed Private Equity ETF, PSQ, ProShares Short QQQs, PSR, Invesco Active U.S. Real Estate Fund, PST, ProShares Ultra Short 7 to 10 Year Treasury, PSTL, Postal Realty Trust Incorporated. PSX, Phillips 66. PTA, Cohen & Steers Tax Advantage Preferred Securities and Income Fund, PTBD, Pacer Trend Pilot U.S. Bond ETF, PTIN, Pacer Trend Pilot International ETF, PTY, PIMCO Corporate and Income Opportunity Fund, PUK Prudential PLC, PULS, PGIM, Ultra Short Bond ETF, PUTW, Wisdom Tree Put Right Strategy Fund, PVAL, Putnam Focused Large Cap Value ETF, PVH, PVH Corp, PVI, Invesco VRDO Tax Free ETF, PPL Permianville Royalty Trust, PWB Invesco Dynamic Large Cap Growth ETF, PWR Quanta Services Inc., PWV Invesco Dynamic Large Cap Value ETF, PWZ Invesco California AMT Free Municipal Bond ETF, PX P10 Incorporated, PXD Pioneer Natural Resources Company, PXE Invesco Dynamic Energy Exploration and Production ETF, and PXF Invesco FTSE RAFI Developed Markets XUS ETF. Hey Jen, I could use some more water. See if that works. PXH Invesco FTSE RAFI Emerging Markets ETF, PXJ Invesco Dynamic Oil and Gas Services, PXQ Invesco Dynamic Networking ETF, PYN PIMCO New York Municipal Income Fund 3, PYPE UBS eTrax NYSE Pickens Core Midstream Index ETN, PZA Invesco National AMT Free Municipal Bond ETF, PZC PIMCO California Municipal Income Fund 3, PZT Invesco New York AMT Free Municipal Bond ETF, QAI IQ Hedge Multi Strategy Tracker ETF, QARP X-Trackers Russell 1000 US Quality at a Reasonable Price ETF, QDEF FlexShares Quality Dividend Defensive Index Fund, QDF FlexShares Quality Dividend Index Fund, QEFA Spider MSCI EAFE Strategic Factors ETF, QEMM Spider MSCI Emerging Markets Strategic Factors ETF, QGRO American Century US Quality Growth ETF, QID ProShares Ultra Short Qs, QINT American Century Quality Diversified International ETF, QLD ProShares Ultra Short Qs, QLTA iShares AAA A-rated corporate bond ETF, QLV FlexShares US Quality Low Volatility Index Fund. QLVD FlexShares Developed Markets US Quality. Sorry about that. QLVD FlexShares Developed Markets US Quality Low Volatility Index Fund. FlexShares Emerging Markets Quality Low Volatility Index Fund. QRFT Craft AI Enhanced US Large Cap ETF. QSR Restaurant Brands International. QTUM Defiance Quantum ETF, QUS SPDR MSCI US Strategic Factors ETF, R Rider System, RA Brookfield Real Assets Income Fund, RAAX Van Eck Inflation Allocation ETF, RAFE PIMCO RAFI ESG US ETF, RAVI FlexShares Ultra Short Income Fund, RBA Ritchie Brothers Auctioneers Incorporated, RBCP RBC Bearings Incorporated, RC Ready Capital Corporation, RCD Invesco S&P 500 Equal Weight Consumer Discretionary ETF, RCI Rogers Communications, RCS PIMCO Strategic Income Fund Incorporated, RDIV Invesco S&P Ultra Dividend Revenue ETF, RDN Radian Group Incorporated, and RDOG ALPS REIT Dividend Dogs ETF. RDY, Dr. Reddy's Laboratories Limited, RE, Everest RE Group Limited, REET, iShares Global REIT ETF, REK, ProShares Short Real Estate, RELX PLC, REMX, Van Eck Rare Earth Strategic Metals ETF, RES, RPC Incorporated, RESP, Wisdom Tree, US ESG Fund, RETL, Direxion Daily Retail Bull, 3 times shares, REVG Group, REW, ProShares Ultra Short Technology, REXR, Rexford Industrial Realty, REZ, iShares Residential and Multi-Sector Real Estate ETF, RF, Regions Financial Corporation, RFCI, Riverfront Dynamic Core Income ETF, RFTA, Riverfront Dynamic US Dividend Advantage ETF, RFFC, Riverfront Dynamic US Flex Cap ETF, RFG, Invesco S&P Midcap 400 Pure Growth ETF, RFI Conan Steers Total Return Realty Fund Incorporated, RFV Invesco S&P Midcap 400 Pure Value ETF. Let's get it on. Let's go. What's next? We got RGA, Reinsurance Group of America Incorporated, RGI, Invesco, S&P 500, Equal Weight Industrials ETF, RGR, Sturm, Ruger and Company, RGT, Royce Global Value Trust, RHI, Robert Half International, RHP, Ryman Hospitality Properties, RHS, Invesco, S&P 500, Equal Weight Consumer Staples ETF, RIET, Hoya Capital High Dividend Yield ETF, RIGS, Riverfront Strategic Income Fund, RINF, ProShares Inflation Expectations ETF, RIO, Rio Tinto Group, RISR, Folio Beyond Rising Rates ETF, RATM, Rhythm Capital Corp, RIV, River North Opportunities Fund, RJF, Raymond James Financial, RL, Ralph Lauren Corporation, RLI, RLI Corp, RLJ Lodging Trust, RLTY, Conan Steers Real Estate Opportunities and Income Fund, RLY Spider SSGA Multi-Asset Real Return ETF. Thank you. I got a refill on my water from my wife, who probably thinks I'm a nut doing this. She's probably not wrong. RM, Regional Management Corp, RMAX, Remax Holdings, RMD, ResMed Incorporated, RMI, River North Opportunistic Municipal Income Fund, RMM, River North Managed Duration Municipal Income Fund, RMT, Royce Microcap Trust, Inc., RNP, Conan Steers REIT and Preferred Income Fund, RNR, Renaissance RE Holdings, Inc., ROAM, Hartford Multi-Factor Emerging Markets ETF, ROBO, Robo Global Robotics and Automation Index, RODM, Hartford Multi-Factor Developed Markets, ex-US ETF, ROK Rockwell Automation, ROKT, Spider Kensho Financial Final Frontiers ETF, ROL Rollins, ROOF, IQ, CBRE Next Gen Real Estate ETF, ROP Roper Technologies, RORO ATAC US Rotation ETF, ROUS Hartford Multi-Factor US Equity ETF, RPAR Risk Parity ETF, and RPG, the Invesco S&P 500 Pure Growth ETF. RPM, we did this already, didn't we? No. I swear we did this. RPM International, RPT Realty. I guess not. I'm losing my mind. RPV, Invesco S&P 500 Pure Value ETF, RQI, Conan Steers Quality Income Realty Fund, RRC, Range Resources Corporation, RRH, Advocate Rising Rate Hedge ETF, RRX, Regal Rexnord Corporation, RS, Reliance Steel and Aluminum Company, RSG, Republic Services, RSP, Invesco S&P 500 Equal Weight ETF, RTM, Invesco S&P 500 Equal Weight Materials ETF, RTO, Rentokil Initial PLC, RTX, Raytheon Technologies Corporation, RVNU, Xtrackers Municipal Infrastructure Revenue Bond ETF, RVT, Royce Value Trust, RWJ, Invesco S&P Small Cap 600 Revenue ETF, RWK, Invesco S&P Mid Cap 400 Revenue ETF, RWL, Invesco S&P 500 Revenue ETF, RWM, ProShares Short Russell 2000, RWO, Spider Dow Jones Global Real Estate ETF. RWR, Spider Dow Jones REIT ETF, RWT, Redwood Trust Incorporated, RWX, Spider Dow Jones International Real Estate ETF, RXD, ProShares Ultra Short Healthcare, RXI, iShares Global Consumer Discretionary ETF, RXL, ProShares Ultra Healthcare, RY, Royal Bank of Canada, RYE, Invesco S&P 500 Equal Weight Energy ETF, RYF, Invesco S&P 500 Equal Weight Financials ETF, RYH, Invesco S&P 500 Equal Weight Healthcare ETF, RYI, Ryerson Holding Corporation, RYJ, Invesco Raymond James SB1 Equity ETF. RYLD, Global X Russell 2000 Covered Call ETF. RYN, Rayonier Incorporated. RYT, Invesco S&P 500 Equal Weight Technology ETF. RYU, Invesco S&P 500 Equal Weight Utilities ETF. RZG, Invesco S&P Small Cap 600 Pure Growth ETF. RZV, Invesco S&P Small Cap 600 Pure Value ETF. SAFE, Safehold Incorporated. And SAH, Sonic Automotive. SAIC, Science Applications International Corporation. SAN, Banco Santander SA. SAP, SAR, Saratoga Investment Corp. SB, Safe Bulkers Inc. SBB, ProShares Short Small Cap 600. SBI, Western Asset Immediate Muni Fund. SBR, Sabine Royalty Trust. SBS, Compañía de Saneamiento Básico de Estado de Sao Paulo. SBSW, Sabine Stillwater Limited. SCCO, Southern Copper Corporation. SCD, LMP Capital and Income Fund. SCHA, Schwab US Small Cap ETF. SCHB, Schwab US Broad Market ETF. SCHC, Schwab International Small Cap Equity ETF. SCHD, Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF. SCHE, Schwab Emerging Markets Equity ETF. SCHF, Schwab International Equity ETF. SCHD, Schwab US Large Cap Growth ETF. SCHH, Schwab US REIT ETF. SCHI, Schwab 5 to 10 year corporate bond ETF. SCHJ, Schwab 1 to 5 year corporate bond ETF. SCHK, Schwab 1000 index ETF. SCHM, Schwab US mid cap ETF. SCHO, Schwab short term US Treasury ETF. SCHP, Schwab US TIPS ETF. SCHQ, Schwab long term US Treasury ETF. SCHR, Schwab intermediate term US Treasury ETF. SCHV, Schwab US Large Cap Value ETF. SCHW, the Schwab Corporation. SCHX, Schwab US Large Cap ETF. SCHY, Schwab International Dividend Equity ETF. SCHZ, Schwab US Aggregate Bond ETF. SCI, Service Corporation International. SCJ, iShares MSCI Japan Small Cap ETF. SCL, Stepan Company. SCM, Stellus Capital Investment Corporation. SCMB, Schwab Municipal Bond ETF. SCS, Steelcase Incorporated. SCU, Sculptor Capital Management Incorporated. SDD, ProShares Ultra Short Small Cap 600. SDEM, Global X MSCI Super Dividend Emerging Markets ETF. Global X SDIV, Global X Super Dividend ETF. SDOG, ALPS Sector Dividend Dogs ETF. SDOW, ProShares Ultra Short Dow 30. SDP, ProShares Ultra Short Utilities. SDS, ProShares Ultra Short S&P 500. SDY, Spider S&P Dividend ETF. SEA, U.S. Global Sea to Sky Cargo ETF. SEE, Sealed Air Corporation. SEF, ProShares Short Financials. SEM, Select Medical Holdings Incorporated. SF, Stifel Financial Corporation. FBS, Service First Bankshares Incorporated. SFL, Service Corporation Limited. SFLR, Innovator Equity Managed Floor ETF. SFY, SoFi Select 500 ETF. SFYF, SoFi Social 500 ETF. SFYX, SoFi Next 500 ETF. And SGDJ, Sprott Junior Gold Miners ETF. SGDM, Sprott Gold Miners ETF. SGOV, iShares 0 to 3 month Treasury Bond ETF. SGU, Star Group LP. SH, ProShares Short S&P 500. SHE, Spider MSCI USA Gender Diversity ETF. SHEL, Shell PLC. SHG, Shinhan Financial Group. SHM, Spider Nuveen Bloomberg Short-Term Municipal Bond ETF. SHO, Sunstone Hotel Investors. SHOC, Strive US Semiconductor ETF. SHW, the Sherwin-Williams Company. SHYG, iShares 0 to 5 year high yield corporate bond ETF. SHYL, X-Trackers short duration high yield bond ETF. SID, Companhia Siderurgia Nacional. SIG, Signet Jewelers Limited. SII, Sprott Incorporated. SIJ, ProShares Ultra Short Industrials. SIL, Global X Silver Miners ETF. SILJ, ETFMG Prime Junior Silver Miners ETF. SIMS, Spider S&P Kensho Intelligent Structures ETF. SIRE, Sisicam Resources LP. SITC, Site Centers Corp. SIXA, ETC 6 Meridian Megacap Equity ETF. SIXH, ETC 6 Meridian Hedged Equity Index Option Strategy ETF. SIXL, ETC 6 Meridian Low Beta Equity Strategy ETF. SIXS, ETC 6 Meridian Small Cap Equity ETF. SIZE, iShares MSCI USA Size Factor ETF. SJB, ProShares Short High Yield. SJM, the JM Smucker Company. SJNK, Spider Bloomberg Short Term High Yield Bond ETF. SJT, San Juan Basin Royalty Trust. SJW, SJW Group. SKF, ProShares Ultra Short Financials. SKM, SK Telecom Company. SKT, Tangier Factory Outlet Centers. SLB, Schlumberger Limited. SLF, Sun Life Financial. SLG, SL Green Realty Corp. SLGN, Silgan Holdings. And SLVM, Silvamo Corporation. SLX, Van X Steel ETF. SLY, Spider S&P 600 Small Cap ETF. SLYG, Spider S&P 600 Small Cap Growth ETF. SLYV, Spider S&P 600 Small Cap Value ETF. SM Energy Company. SMDD, ProShares Ultra Short Mid Cap 400. SMFG, Sumitomo Mitsui Financial Group. SMG, the Scott's Miracle Grow Company. SMHB, eTrax 2 times monthly pay leveraged U.S. small cap high dividend ETF. SMLF, iShares MSCI USA Small Cap Multi-Factor ETF. SMLV, Spider SSGA US Small Cap Low Volatility Index ETF. SMUU, PIMCO Short Term Municipal Bond Active ETF. SMN, ProShares Ultra Short Basic Materials. SMOG, VanEck Low Carbon Energy ETF. SMP, Standard Motor Products Inc., SNA, Snap-on Incorporated, SNDR, Schneider National, SNN, Smith & Nephew, SNPE is the X-Trackers S&P 500 ESG ETF, and SNV is Synovus Financial Corporation. Synovus, you got it? SNX, TD Synex Corporation. SO, the Southern Company. SOI, Solaris Oilfield Infrastructure Incorporated. SON, Sonical Products. SONY, Sony Group Corporation. SOR, Source Capital. SOXL, Direxion Daily Semiconductor Bull 3 times shares. XOSX, Direxion Daily Semiconductor Bear 3 times X shares. SPAB, Spider Portfolio Aggregate Bond ETF. SPB, Spectrum Brands Holdings. SPBO, Spider Portfolio Corporate Bond ETF. SPD, Simplify U.S. Equity Plus Downside Convexity ETF. SPDN, the Direxion Daily S&P 500 Bear 1 times shares. SPDV, AAM S&P 500 High Dividend Value ETF. SPDW, the Spider Portfolio Developed World X US ETF. SPE, the Special Opportunities Fund. The SPEM Spider Portfolio Emerging Markets ETF, SPEU Spider Portfolio Europe ETF, SPFF Global X Super Income Preferred ETX, and SPG Simon Property Group. Hello, Simon. SPGI, S&P Global Incorporated, SPGM, Spider Portfolio, MSCI Global Stock Market ETF, SPGP, the Invesco S&P 500 GARP ETF, SPH, Suburban Propane Partners, SPHB, Invesco S&P 500 High Beta ETF, SPHD, Invesco S&P 500 High Dividend Low Volatility ETF, SPHQ, the Invesco S&P 500 Quality ETF. SPHY. SPDR, the Spider Portfolio High Yield Bond ETF. SPIB, Spider Portfolio Intermediate Term Corporate Bond ETF. SPIP, Spider Portfolio TIPS ETF. SPLB, Spider Portfolio Long Term Corporate Bond ETF. SPLG, Spider Portfolio S&P 500 ETF. SPLV, Invesco S&P 500 Low Volatility ETF. SPMB, Spider Portfolio Mortgage-Backed Bond ETF. SPMD, Spider Portfolio S&P 400 Midcap ETF. SPMO, Invesco S&P 500 Momentum ETF. SPR, Spirit Aerosystems Holdings Incorporated. SPSB, Spider Portfolio Short-Term Corporate Bond ETF. SPSK, S&P Funds Dow Jones Global Sukuk ETF. SPSM, Spider Portfolio S&P 600 Small Cap ETF. Sukuk. What's a sukuk? SPTI, Spider Portfolio Intermediate Term Treasury ETF. SPTL, Spider Portfolio Long-Term Treasury ETF. SPTM, Spider Portfolio S&P 1500 Composite Stock Market ETF. SPTS, Spider Portfolio Short-Term Treasury ETF. SPUC, Simplify U.S. Equity Plus Upside Convexity ETF. SPUS, SP Funds S&P 500 Sharia Industry Exclusions ETF. SPUU, Direxion Daily S&P 500 Bull 2 times shares. SPVM, Invesco S&P 500 Value with Momentum ETF. SPVU, Invesco S&P 500 Enhanced Value ETF. SPXB, ProShares S&P 500 Bond ETF. XPXE, ProShares S&P 500 X Energy ETF. SPXL, Direxion Daily S&P 500 Bull 3 times shares. SPXS, Direxion Daily S&P 500 Bear 3 times shares. SPXT, ProShares S&P 500 X Technology ETF. SPXU, ProShares Ultra Pro Short S&P 500. SPXX, Nuveen S&P 500 Dynamic Overwrite Fund. SPY, the Spider S&P 500 ETF Trust. SPYC, Simplify U.S. Equity Plus Convexity ETF. SPYD, Spider Portfolio S&P 500 High Yield Dividend ETF. And the SPYG, Spider Portfolio S&P 500 Growth ETF. Come on, you can get there. We're almost there. Load it up. SPYV, the Spider Portfolio S&P 500 Value ETF. SPYX, Spider S&P 500 Fossil Fuel Reserves Free ETF. SQEW, Leader Shares Equity Skew ETF. SQM, Sociedad Química y Minera de Chile. SR, Spire, SRC, Spirit Cat Realty Capital. SRE, Sempra Energy. SRL, Scully Royalty. SRLN, Spider Blackstone Senior Loan ETF. SRS, ProShares Ultra Short Real Estate. SRTY, ProShares Ultra Pro Short Russell 2000. SRV, NXG Cushing Midstream Energy Fund. SRVR, Pacer Benchmark Data and Infrastructure Real Estate Sector ETF. SSD, Simpson Manufacturing Company. SSG, ProShares Ultra Short Semiconductors. SSL, Sasol Limited. SSO, ProShares Ultra S&P 500. SSPY, Syntax Stratified Large Cap ETF. SSTK, Shutterstock Incorporated. SSUS, Daily Hagen Ned Davis Research Smart Sector ETF. ST, Sensata Technologies Holding PLC. STAG, Stag Industrial Incorporated. STC, Stewart Information Services Corporation. STCE, Schwab Crypto Thematic ETF. STE, Steris PLC. STEW, SRH Total Return Fund. STG, Sunlands Technology Group. STIP, iShares 0 to 5 year TIPS Bond ETF. STM, Microelectronics. STN, Stantec. STNG, Scorpio Tankers. STPZ, PIMCO 1 to 5 year US Tips Index ETF, STR, Sitio Royalties Corp, STRV, Strive 500 ETF, STT, State Street Corporation, STWD, Starwood Property Trust, STZ, Constellation Brands Incorporated, SU, Suncor Energy, SUB, iShares Short-Term National Muni Bond ETF, SUI, Sun Communities Incorporated. SUN, Sunoco LP, SUPV, Grupo Superior Val, SUSA, iShares, MSCI USA, ESG Select ETF, SUZ, Suzano, SVOL, Simplify Volatility Premium ETF, SWAN, Amplify Black Swan Growth and Treasury Core ETF, SWK, Stanley Black & Decker, SWX, Southwest Gas Holdings, SWZ, the Swiss Helvetia Fund, SXC, Suncoke Energy, SXI, Standex International Corporation, SXQG, ETC6 Meridian Quality Growth ETF, SXT, Sensient Technology Corporation, SYF, Synchrony Financial, SYK, Stryker Corporation, SYY, Cisco Corporation, SZNE, Pacer, CFRA, Stovall, Equal Weight, Sensational Rotation Index ETF, AT&T Incorporated, TAC, TransAlta Corporation, TACK, Fair Lead Tactical Sector Fund. TAK, Takeda Pharmaceutical Company Limited, TAP, Molson Coors Beverage Company, TAXF, American Century Diversified Municipal Bond ETF, TBF, ProShares Short 20 plus year Treasury, TBT, ProShares Ultra Short 20 plus year Treasury, TBX, ProShares Short 7 to 10 year Treasury, TCN, Tricon Residential, TD, the Toronto Dominion Bank, TDS, Telephone and Data Systems Incorporated, TDTF, FlexShares iBox 5 year Target Duration Tips Index Fund, TDTT, FlexShares iBox 3 year Target Duration Tips Index Fund, TEAF, Ecofin Sustainable and Social Impact Term Fund, TECB, iShares US Tech Breakthrough Multi-Sector ETF, TECK, Tech Resources Limited, TECL, Direxion Daily Technology Bull 3 times shares, TECS, Direxion Daily Technology Bear 3 times shares, TEF, Telefonica SA, TEI, Templeton Emerging Markets Income Fund, TEL, TE Connectivity Limited, TEO, Telecom Argentina SA. TEQI, T. Rowe Price Equity Income ETF, TEX, Terex Corporation, TFC, Truist Financial Corporation, TFI, Spider, Nuveen, Bloomberg Municipal Bond ETF, TFII, TFI International, TFLO, iShares Treasury Floating Rate Bond Fund, TFPM, Triple Flag Precious Metals Corporation, TFX, Teleflex Incorporated, TG, Treadgar Corporation, TGH, Textainer Group Holdings Limited, TGLS, Technoglass Incorporated, TGNA, Tegna Corporation, TGT, Target Corporation, THCX, AXS Cannabis ETF, THD, iShares MSCI Thailand ETF, THG, the Hanover Insurance Group, THO, Thor Industries, THQ, Tekla Healthcare Opportunities Fund, THW, Tekla World Healthcare Fund, THY, Taves Agility Shares Dynamic Tactical Income ETF. TIMB, TIM SA, TIP, iShares Tips Bond ETF, TIPX, Spider Bloomberg 1 to 10 year Tips ETF, TIPZ, PIMCO Broad US Tips Index ETF, TJX, the TJX companies, TKC, Turkcell, Itzelem, His Military, TKR, the Timken Company, TLH, iShares 10 to 20 year Treasury Bond ETF, TLK, Perusan, PT Telekomunikasi Indonesia, TBK, TLTD, Flex Shares Morningstar Developed Markets X US Factor Tilt Index Fund. TLTE, Flex Shares Morningstar Emerging Markets Factor Tilt Index Fund. TM, Toyota Motor Corporation. TMF, Direxion Daily 20 Plus Year Treasury Bull 3 times shares. TMFE, Motley Fool Capital Efficiency 100 Index ETF. TMO, Thermo Fisher Scientific Inc. TMV, Direxion Daily 20 Plus Year Treasury Bear 3 times shares. TNA, Direxion Daily Small Cap Bull 3 times shares. TNC, Tenant Company. TNL, Travel and Leisure Company. TNP, Sakos Energy Navigation Limited. Any day now. TOK, iShares MSCI Kokusaki ETF, TOL Toll Brothers, TOLZ ProShares DJ Brookfield Global Infrastructure ETF, TOTL Spider Double Line Total Return Tactical ETF, TPB Turning Point Brands Inc., TPHD Timothy Plan High Dividend Stock ETF, TPIF Timothy Plan International ETF, TPL Texas Pacific Land Corporation, TPLC Timothy Plan U.S. Large Mid-Cap Core ETF, TPOR Direxion Daily Transportation Bull 3 times shares, TPR Tapestry Inc., TPSC Timothy Plan U.S. Small Cap Core ETF, TPVG Triple Point Venture Growth BDC Corp, TPX Temper Sealy International Inc., TPYP Tortoise North American Pipeline Fund, TPZ Tortoise Power and Energy Infrastructure Fund, TR Tootsie Roll Industries, TRGP Targa Resources Corp, TRI Thomson Reuters Corp, TRN Trinity Industries Incorporated. Come on, load up faster, man. TRND, Pacer Trend Pilot Fund of Funds ETF, TRNO, Terreno Realty Corporation, TROX, Tronix Holdings PLC, TRP, TC Energy Corporation, TRTN, Triton International Limited, TRTX, TPG, RE Finance Trust Inc., TRU, TransUnion, TRV, The Travelers Companies, TS, Tenaris SA, TSE, Trinzeo, TSI, TCW Strategic Income Fund, TSLX, 6th Street Specialty Lending Inc., TSLY, YieldMax Tesla Option Income Strategy ETF, TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Company Limited, TSME, Thrivent Small to Mid Cap ESG ETF, TSN, Tyson Foods, TSQ, Town Square Media, TT, Train Technologies PLC, TTC, The Toro Company, TTE, Total Energies SE. TTP, Tortoise Pipeline and Energy Fund Inc., TTT, ProShares Ultra Pro Short 20 Plus Year Treasury, TU, TELUS Corporation, TUA, Simplified Short Term Treasury Future Strategy ETF, TV, Grupo Televisa, TWM, ProShares Ultra Short Russell 2000, TWN, the Taiwan Fund, TWO, Two Harbors Investment Corp, TX, Terranium, TXT, Textron, TY, Tricontinental Corporation, TYD, Direxion Daily 7 to 10 year Treasury Bull 3 times shares, TYG, Tortoise Energy Infrastructure Corporation, TYO, Direxion Daily 7 to 10 year Treasury Bear 3 times shares, TZA, Direxion Daily Small Cap Bear 3 times shares, UAN, CVR Partners, UBA, Erstat Biddle Properties Inc., UBOT, Daily Robotics, Artificial Intelligence and Automation Index Bull 2 times shares, UBS Group AG, UBT, the ProShares Ultra 20 Plus Year Treasury. UCC is the ProShares Ultra Consumer Services, UCON, First Trust TCW Unconstrained Plus Bond ETF, UDN, Invesco DB US Dollar Index Bearish Fund, UDOW, ProShares Ultra Pro Dow 30, UDR, UDR Inc., UE, Urban Edge Properties, UGE, ProShares Ultra Consumer Goods, UGI, UGI Corporation, UGP, Ultra Par Participacoes, U-Haul, UHAL-B, U-Haul Holding Company, UHS, Universal Health Services, UHT, Universal Health Realty Income Trust, UI, Ubiquity Inc., UJB, ProShares Ultra High Yield, UL, Unilever, ULST, Spider, SSGA, Ultra Short Term Bond ETF, ULTR, IQ, Ultra Short Duration ETF, UMC, United Microelectrics Corporation, UMDD, ProShares Ultra Pro Midcap 400, UMH Properties Incorporated. UMI, USCF Midstream Energy Income Fund, UNF, UniFirst Corporation, UNH, United Health Group Incorporated, UNM, Unum Group, UNP, United Pacific Corporation, UPAR, UPAR Ultra Risk Parity ETF, UPRO, ProShares Ultra Pro S&P 500, UPS, United Parcel Service, UPV, ProShares Ultra FTSE Europe, UPW, ProShares Ultra Utilities, URA, Global X Uranium ETF, URE, ProShares Ultra Real Estate, URI, United Rentals, URNM, Sprott Uranium Miners ETF, URTH, iShares MSCI World ETF, URTY, ProShares Ultra Pro Russell 2000, USA Liberty All-Star Equity Fund, USAC, USA Compression Partners LP, USAI, Pacer American Energy Independence ETF, and USB here, US Bancorp. USD, the ProShares Ultra Semiconductors, USDP, USD Partners LP, USDU, the Wisdom Tree Bloomberg US Dollar Bullish Fund, USFR, Wisdom Tree Floating Rate Treasury Fund, USPH, US Physical Therapy Inc., USRT, iShares Core US REIT ETF, USSG, Xtrackers, MSCI, USA, ESG Leaders Equity ETF, UST, ProShares Ultra 7 to 10 year Treasury, UTES, Virtus Reeves Utilities ETF, UTF, Conan Steers Infrastructure Fund Incorporated, UTL, Unitil Corporation, UTRN, Vesper US Large Cap Short Term Reversal Strategy, ETF, UTSL, Direxion Daily Utilities Bull, 3 times shares, UTZ, Utz Brands, UUP, Invesco DB US Dollar Index Bullish Fund, UVDV, UVA Dividend Value ETF, UVE, Universal Insurance Holdings Incorporated, UVV, Universal Corporation, UWM, ProShares Ultra Russell 2000, and UWMC, the UWM Holdings Corporation. UXI, ProShares Ultra Industrials, UYG, ProShares Ultra Financials, UYLD, Angel Oak Ultra Short Income ETF, UYM, ProShares Ultra Basic Materials, Visa, VAC, Marriott Vacations Worldwide Corporations, VALE, Vale SA, VALQ, American Century Stocks US Quality Value ETF, VAW, Vanguard Materials Index Fund, VB, Vanguard Small Cap Index Fund, VBF, Invesco Bond Fund, VBK, Vanguard Small Cap Growth Index Fund, VBND, Vivident, US Bond Strategy ETF, VBR, Vanguard Small Cap Value Index Fund, VCIF, Vertical Capital Income Fund, VCR, Vanguard Consumer Discretionary Fund, VCV, the Vanguard California Value Municipal Income Trust, VDC, Vanguard Consumer Staples Fund, VDE, Vanguard Energy Index Fund, VEA, Vanguard Developed Markets Index Fund. VEGI, iShares MSCI Global Agriculture Products ETF, VET, Vermilion Energy, VEU, Vanguard FTSE All World X US Index Fund, VFC, VF Corporation, VFH, Vanguard Financials Index Fund, VGI, Virtus Global Multi-Sector Income Fund, VGK, Vanguard European Stock Index Fund, VGM, Invesco Trust for Investment Grade Municipals, VGR, Vector Group Limited, VGT, Vanguard Information Technology Index Fund, VHI, Valhai Inc., VHT, Vanguard Healthcare Index Fund, VICI, Vici Properties, VIDI, Vident Vidant International Equity Strategy ETF, VIG, Vanguard Dividend Appreciation Index Fund, VIOG, Vanguard S&P Small Cap 600 Growth Index Fund, VIOO, Vanguard S&P Small Cap 600 Index Fund, VIOV, Vanguard S&P Small Cap 600 Value Index Fund, VIS, Vanguard Industrials Index Fund, VIV, Telefonica Brazil. VKQ is the Invesco Municipal Trust, VLO, Valero Energy Corp, VLT, Invesco High Income Trust 2, VMC, Vulcan Materials Company, VMI, Valmont Industries, VMO, Invesco Municipal Opportunity Trust, VNLA, Janus Henderson Short Duration Income ETF, VNO, Vernado Realty Trust, VNQ, Vanguard Real Estate Index Fund, VNT, Vontier Corporation, VO, Vanguard Mid Cap Index Fund, VOC, VOC Energy Trust, VOE, Vanguard Mid Cap Value Index Fund, VOO, the Vanguard 500 Index Fund, VOOG, Vanguard S&P 500 Growth Index Fund, VOOV, Vanguard S&P 500 Value Index Fund, VOT, Vanguard Mid Cap Growth Index Fund, VOX, Vanguard Communication Services Index Fund, VOYA, Voya Financial, VPC, Virtus Private Credit ETF. VPL, the Vanguard Pacific Stock Index Fund, VPU, Vanguard Utilities Index Fund, VPV, Invesco Pennsylvania Value Municipal Income Trust, VRAI, Virtus Real Asset Income ETF, VRP, Invesco Variable Rate Preferred ETF, VRT, Vertiv Holdings Company, VRTV, Vertiv Corporation, VSH, Vishay Technology Incorporated, VSS, Vanguard FTSE All World X US Small Cap Index Fund, VST, Vistra Corporation, VT, Vanguard Total World Stock Index Fund, VTEB, the Vanguard Tax Exempt Bond Index Fund, VTES, Vanguard Short-Term Tax Exempt Bond ETF Shares, VTI, the Vanguard Total Stock Market Index Fund, VTN, Invesco Trust for Investment Grade New York Municipals, VTR, Ventas Incorporated, VTS, Vitesse Energy, VTV, Vanguard Value Index Fund, VUG, Vanguard Growth Index Fund, VUSE, the Vidant US Equity Strategy ETF. VV, Vanguard Large Cap Index Fund, VVR, Invesco Senior Income Trust, VVV, Valvoline Incorporated, VWO, Vanguard Emerging Market Stock Index Fund, VXF, Vanguard Extended Market Index Fund, VYM, Vanguard High Dividend Yield Index Fund, VZ, Verizon Communications, WAB, Westinghouse Air Brake Technology Corporation, WAL, Western Alliance Bank Corporation, WANT, Direxion Daily Consumer Discretionary Bull 3 times shares, WBIF, the WBI Bull Bear Value 3000 ETF, WBIG, WBI Bull Bear Yield 3000 ETF, WBIL, WBI Bull Bear Quality 3000 ETF, WBIY, WBIY Power Factor High Dividend ETF, WBS Webster Financial Corporation, WCC Wesco International Inc., WCN Waste Connections Inc., WD Walker and Dunlop Incorporated, WDIV SPDR S&P Global Dividend ETF, WDS Woodside Energy Group Limited. Get it? WEA Western Asset Premier Bond Fund, WEBS, Direxion Daily Dow Jones Internet Bear, 3 times shares, WEC, WEC Energy Group Incorporated, WELL, Welltower Inc., WES, Western Midstream Partners LP, WF, Worry Financial Group Incorporated, WFC, Wells Fargo and Company, WFG, West Fraser Timber Company, WFH, Direxion Work From Home ETF, WGO, Winnebago Industries, WH, Wyndham Hotel and Resorts, Inc., WHD, Cactus, Inc., WHG, Westwood Holdings Group, Inc., WHR, Whirlpool Corporation, WIA, Western Asset Inflation Linked Income Fund, WINN, Harbor Long-Term Growers ETF, WIP, Spider FTSE International Government Inflation Protected Bond ETF, WIT, WIPRO Limited, WIW, Western Asset Inflation Linked Opportunities and Income Fund, WKLY, the SoFi Weekly Dividend ETF. WLK, Westlake Corporation, WLKP, Westlake Chemical Partners LP, WLY, John Wiley and Sons, WM Waste Management, WMB, The Williams Companies, WMC, Western Asset Mortgage Capital Corporation, WMK, Weiss Markets, WMS, Advanced Drainage Systems, WMT, Walmart, WNC, Wabash National Corporation, WOMN, the Impact Shares YWCA Women's Empowerment ETF, WOR Worthington Industries, WPC, WP Carey, WPM Wheaton Precious Metals Corp, WPP, WPP PLC, WPS iShares International Developed Property ETF, WRB, WR Berkeley Corporation, WRK West Rock Corporation, West Rock Company, WSM Williams Sonoma, and WSO Watsco. WSR Whitestone REIT. WST West Pharmaceutical Services Inc., WT Wisdom Tree, WTM White Mountains Insurance Group in Limited, WTMF Wisdom Tree Managed Futures Strategy Fund, WTRG Essential Utilities Inc., WTS Watts Water Technologies Inc., WTTR Select Energy Services Inc., WU The Western Union Company, WWE World Wrestling Entertainment Incorporated, WWJD Inspire International ETF, WWW Wolverine Worldwide, WY Weyerhaeuser X United States Steel Corporation, XAR the Spider S&P Aerospace and Defense ETF, XCEM, Columbia EM Core X China ETF, XES, Spider S&P Oil and Gas Equipment and Services ETF, XFLT, the XAI Octagon Floating Rate and Alternative Income Term Trust, XHB, Spider S&P Home Builders ETF, XHE, the Spider S&P Healthcare Equipment ETF. XHR, Xenia Hotels and Resorts Incorporated, XHS, Spider S&P Healthcare Services ETF. XITK, Spider FactSet Innovative Technology ETF, XLB, Materials Select Sector Spider Fund, XLC, Communications Services Select Sector Spider Fund, XLE, the Energy Select Sector Spider Fund, XLF, Financial Select Sector Spider Fund, XLG, Invesco S&P 500 Top 50 ETF, XLI, the Industrial Select Sector Spider Fund, XLK, Technology Select Sector Spider Fund, XLP, Consumer Staples Select Sector Spider Fund, XLRE, the Real Estate Select Sector Spider Fund, XLSR, Spider SSGA US Sector Rotation ETF, XLU, Utility Select Sector Spider Fund, XLV, Healthcare Select Sector Spider Fund, XLY, Consumer Discretionary Select Sector Spider Fund, XME, Spider S&P Metals and Mining ETF, XMHQ, Invesco S&P Midcap Quality ETF, XMLV, the Invesco S&P Midcap Low Volatility ETF, XMMO, the Invesco S&P Midcap Momentum ETF. Where are we? Oh, XMVM, Invesco S&P Midcap Value with Momentum ETF. XNTK, the Spider NYSE Technology ETF. XOM, ExxonMobil Corporation. XOP, Spider S&P Oil and Gas Exploration and Production ETF. XOUT, Granite Shares XOUT US Large Cap ETF. XPH, the Spider S&P Pharmaceuticals ETF. XPP, ProShares Ultra FTSE China 50. XRLV, the Invesco S&P 500 X-rate sensitive low volatility ETF. XRMI, the Global X S&P 500 risk managed income ETF. XRT, the Spider S&P retail ETF. XSD, Spider S&P semiconductor ETF. XSLV, Invesco S&P small cap low volatility ETF. XSMO, the Invesco S&P small cap momentum ETF. XSOE, Wisdom Tree Emerging Markets X State-Owned Enterprises Fund. XSVM, Invesco S&P Small Cap Value with Momentum ETF. XSW, Spider S&P Software and Services ETF. XTL, the Spider S&P Telecom ETF. XTN, the Spider S&P Transportation ETF. The XWEB, Spider S&P Internet ETF. And XYL Xylem Incorporated. XYLD, the Global X S&P 500 Covered Call ETF. XYLG, Global X S&P 500 Covered Call and Growth ETF. YALL, God Bless America ETF. YANG, Direxion Daily FTSE China Bear 3 times shares. YINN, the Direxion Daily FTSE China Bull 3 times shares. YLD, Principal Active High Yield Fund. YOLO, Advisor Shares Pure Cannabis ETF. YUM, Yum Brands. YUMC, Yum China Holdings. YXI, ProShares Short FTSE China 50. YYY, the Amplify High Income ETF. ZBH, Zimmer Biomet Holdings Inc. ZGN, Ermengildo Zegna. ZHDG, Zega Buy and Hedge ETF. ZIG, the Acquirers Fund ETF. ZIM, Zim Integrated Shipping Services. ZROZ, PIMCO 25 Plus, Year Zero Coupon Treasury Index ETF. ZTR, Virtus Global Dividend and Income Fund. ZTS, Zoetis Incorporated. ZWS, Zern LK Water Solutions Corporation. We did it. We did it. We did all 2,840 companies, ETFs, closed-end funds, anything that pays a dividend that's listed on the New York Stock Exchange. Boom, we got through it. If you appreciate the effort, give me a thumbs up. If you were a lunatic that sat through and watched this whole thing, give it a double thumbs up and leave a comment below. We'll put you on the wall of fame for doing such a thing. And I will talk to you guys in the next video. I gotta get out of here. Thank you so very much for watching. And please, if you didn't, scrub through, leave a comment below with what company was the one that you landed on, somewhere in the middle. The first full ticker and company name I said. Please leave that in the comments below. If you would invest in them, if you are or you have been, we would love to know. Have a little fun with it and enjoy yourself. I'll talk to you in the next video.